lawyer in velvet gown, whispers of law beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow, from tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. He'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, he sings lies only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark.
Good evening and happy Friday to you. This is Omar Estrada with the Tilted Lawyer Podcast. We're here after a 1-week hiatus, we're here for Family Law After Dark. Family law attorney giving out marriage and divorce advice or whatever else comes our way. We never know sometimes. I got 4.
There's no family law litigation on Valentine's Day. I mean,
yes, there is.
You got to give them a break, man. I mean,
let me tell you, around this time is our busiest time of year. Valentine's Day and the holidays. It's, people got lots of expectations, and it's a shitty thing to not have them met, whatever those may be.
I just want flowers, damn it.
Yeah, but then you say that, and it's like, really? That's it? All I'm worth to you is flowers? It's $29.99, huh? From flowers.
I can buy myself flowers.
Well, I could pick some from you out of the yard. So wouldn't that be like more valuable? I've like gone through my whole like manual labor of picking flowers and arranging a bouquet, and they are free. And so here is.
I don't know. I find flowers kind of disturbing, like the symbolism of like cutting off these limbs, and then like after a while they just die right away. And it's like,
I don't know, man. I've never got
that's the message I want to send to my special lady friend.
Well, if you overthink it, it's kind of like paralysis by overanalysis. Anyway, some quick show notes. So if you haven't noticed, we have crossed the 20,000 subscriber threshold. Is that Brad? What's up, Brad? Friend of the show. We haven't seen him in months. This is his first appearance in years.
That is a lie.
You're so skinny.
I wouldn't say that.
You look so skinny.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Looking good.
I've been losing weight since August, but
awesome.
Yeah, he's been doing his walks and meal prepping and all those things.
And cheating.
Well,
Doesn't look like it.
Every now and then you gotta overindulge.
I'm not talking about cheating on my diet, but
God damn it, Brad! And what a way to start the show.
Welcome to Flad.
But I'm enjoying some liquid death.
Some liquid death. That's literally just like water, isn't it?
It's flavored sparkling water with agave and stevia.
Oh, it was
The biggest marketing ploy.
It is actually pretty tasty.
Are you guys enjoying a beverage of alcoholic
Yeah.
content?
No
I am.
cherry this time. The cherry's gone.
I have a tiny
Okay.
wine.
That's
I poured a red. I
I
have
had
bigger
a-
cups. This is not my biggest cup.
You know, you don't have to overindulge for us, or you don't have to overcompensate for the Flad panel.
No.
Just saying. I'm enjoying some Dalmore 15, but some show notes. First of all, I got to thank all of you. I know that Flad is not my biggest show, like not by a long shot. It's like it's mostly for our members, and you know, we've been doing it for almost a year now, and we crossed the 20,000 subscriber threshold. And for all of that, I want to thank each and every one of you for all of your support and in the chats and the live streams and the comments and the discords when that was happening and the Instagram and the TikTok and all the other things we got going on. Just some quick announcements. I've been struggling to find content, admittedly, for our Tilted Lawyer members, but starting on Monday, we're going to be beginning a 30-minute Monday to Friday show where I answer your legal questions and give basically marginal legal advice that you shouldn't follow at all. But I'll point you in the right direction. Like you should still go talk to an attorney, but I will kind of.
Wait, I have a question. If I
Yeah.
filed a false sexual harassment case
Oh
against
boy.
my director,
You
should I
should
do?
retract it. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. You know. You know, we should probably have some other conversations about what evidence you have and what was specifically alleged.
I have none.
If you filed it
Oof.
and he hasn't been served with it, you could undo it without penalty. That's important to know. If he's responded, you're kind of fucked. If he like goes in on the offensive,
He
Oh yeah, once
responded,
there's
he-
a response, you
Yeah.
can't retract it, right?
Yeah, he kind of
Mhm.
made like a whole website about it.
then he could go all full on Clayton Eckerd and demand attorney fees and sanctions and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, what about Rule 26? Can I get
Well,
out by claiming Rule 26?
Oh,
Rule
boy.
26 doesn't belong on Flad, not on this Friday. Anyway, we're going to be doing that, and it's going to be strictly for our members. I don't like putting content behind a paywall, but I feel like that's a good way to reward the members. If you have specific legal questions, it's cheaper than going to a lawyer. You should still do that, but it'll be interesting. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to do that. Also, we're going to be doing our hourly podcast. I know a lot of you are on the East Coast and you might not be able to stay up, but around 9 or 10 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to be doing our audio only podcast that we're going to be doing live as well. And Dominic is going to be working his magic to chop that up into bite-sized pieces for everybody else. So we got a lot of big plans. Our goal is we want to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Last year, or around this time, we were sitting at like 2,000. What is it, February? Yeah, we're sitting around 2,000. We've grown to 20,000. So I don't think we're going to grow tenfold, but if we could grow like 1.5 fold, I'd be happy with that.
Chomping at Dave Neal's heels.
Dave Neal is over 100K now. And Lauren Knighty, I'm so proud of that girl, man.
Yeah.
She's about to hit 10K. She's got like the greatest work ethic. She's like, I don't know what it is about Lauren, but like for whatever reason, I feel the need to be like her big brother and like
Yeah.
be overprotective and whatever,
She's like a great person.
Yeah, she's a solid person. She reminds me a lot of one of my best friends in high school. But yeah, solid all around. But anyway, let's go do some Flad. We only got Bruce for like 40 minutes or so.
Ugh.
Damn.
He's got a hot date on a Friday. Hey,
Something under an hour.
Wine Club?
Now we're playing D&D.
Uh,
Nice.
oh shit, skipping out on Flad for D&D.
you know how hard it is to get 6 nerds in a room and coordinate schedules?
It's pretty tough.
Is it really?
Yes.
Aren't nerds usually always available? Because
Well, you gotta get them out of their
One at a
space.
time. Yeah.
Right. They're doing other nerd things.
Got to get them to all show up on Discord. But the hot dates, I'll send you a photo from the Irish pub.
all right, I want to see your antlers, Bruce. Just so you know.
Who's the dungeon master?
PG.
Oh Jesus.
Is it the same person every time, or do you guys take turns?
We
That is cool,
rotate,
that's your
right?
cat.
We rotate. Right now, my buddy Nick is doing it. You might have seen him in chat.
Nice. And do you guys do you do new stories every time, or do you do a continuance of like the last one?
We generally do new modules. We sometimes have our characters return, though.
Cool.
It's sort
How
of
is
a
it D&D character?
cinematic universe kind of
Is it
thing.
like Wizards and Dungeons or Words? What am I thinking of? World of Warcraft. Is it like that? Is that kind of what that it's about?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I only play sports games. I play Madden.
It's
and
Lord of the
MLB.
Rings, but you role play your character.
You know, I bought like this.
Explaining
medieval-
D&D by using video games that were created because people had played D&D is a little Inception, but yeah, it works.
That's why you got to go to the OG and go to the original
Yeah.
high fantasy setting.
Right?
All right, folks, let's get into our first hypothetical. And this one is a doozy, and we're gonna do it first, so we get Brad in on this one. It's a story
Bruce.
about a cancer. Bruce. It doesn't matter how long it. I'm always gonna do it. It's just I don't know what to say. I want Bruce's opinion on this one. This is a cancer survivor who wants a hall pass, and husband doesn't know how to feel about it. So this is what he says as I share my screen. You know,
Cancer survivor or a terminal patient? Because that's a whole different ball of wax.
well, I haven't read the whole thing, but I got the gist. And the gist is she survived cancer. Whether or not she had a terminal diagnosis or not, I'm not sure. But we'll find out right now, and we'll find out together. So here we go. I'm at a loss as to what to do with my wife, who's 51 years old. Husband is 54. My wife and I have been married since 2001 and together since 1999. She is the most intelligent, thoughtful, caring, loyal person I know, and I've always thought of myself as fortunate to have met and married her. She is, even today, aesthetically beautiful, and men have told her this throughout our marriage. She's always shot them down. Now, earlier this year, she's diagnosed with uterine cancer, stage 1, had a full hysterectomy. I was never concerned about the cancer. It was diagnosed early, dealt with quickly. She made a full recovery. I took time off work to look after her, and after the surgery, and all seemed well. There were some to be expected emotional instances on her part, and although I am not an emotional person, we dealt with them together. After her recovery, she was insistent that we start living life to the fullest and took a 10-day trip to Europe, followed by a trip to Belize. We also have a trip to the UK and Spain, Portugal later this year. I'm fine with these things, building memories, crossing bucket list adventures off our list. I also understand that these are a result of feeling fragile on her part. She took up yoga, swimming, healthy cooking classes. I was fully on board until last week. Last week, she came home from work and told me she wanted a hall pass. A one-time opportunity for her to have sex with someone else besides me. She said that since her cancer diagnosis, her outlook on life has changed, and she doesn't want to be handcuffed from doing things that she wants to do. She explained that there was this guy at her work that she has always had some attraction to. He is leaving the company. She's never going to see him again, so this is the perfect opportunity to sleep with someone else. She said that I could say no, of course, but that she would be mad, disappointed at me for an indeterminate amount of time, and that it would be confirmation of my male toxicity and insecurity.
God damn.
Wow. I have so much to say about that sentence. And I'm going to say it. I'm just going to keep reading first. Oh, yeah. I got plenty to say. I don't consider myself to be toxic. And if not wanting your wife of 20 plus years to have sex with someone else is insecure, then I guess I am insecure. I told her that I appreciated her talking to me about this, but approval via coercion is not approval. I also said I don't appreciate her language in describing my as of yet unknown reaction to this very large issue that could affect the rest of our marriage/life. I got up in the morning. She basically said that she was sorry for putting such a large decision solely on my shoulders, and that to help, she was taking the decision away from me. She booked a
What?
hotel near. Well, listen, yeah,
It just
She
keeps
booked a
getting better
hotel.
and better.
Oh my god.
where her coworkers are having a party / send off for this guy. She said she would spend the night there with him, hope that I would be there, or hope that I would be here when she got back.
Oh.
That she would answer any questions I have about the night after it happened, but not before. She will not tell me who he is or anything about him because she knows me too well, and that I will dwell and obsess over him, and that would make it too real for me.
Yeah.
Which is pretty accurate.
I need to know if his name is Chad Brockington or Brock Chaddington.
I don't know, man. You know what'd be funny is if like you saw a picture of this guy and he kind of looked like Pee Wee Herman, and it was just all about the emotional connection because he made her laugh.
Oh no.
Like men's opinions.
I mean, you
immediately
never
go to
know.
Bob Brockington.
Be true.
And it could be just like some random guy that's female attractions
It
are
might
funny.
not be Jason Momoa. It's true.
Might not be. It might.
What's worse, your wife wanting to cheat on you with Jason Momoa, or your wife wanting to cheat on you with the ugliest guy in the office? Like,
I think that there's two different ways that you would process that. I think there's one where it's the Jason Momoa, The Rock, or whatever, where you'd kind of like sort of understand. You know, it's like you got a shot with Angelina Jolie or, I don't know, celebrity female of your choice. And you would say, honey, you know what? You're just going to have to understand on this one. I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going in, and you could yell at me later, and she might not be there later, but at least that way you could kind of like rationalize it, sort of.
right.
You'd be emasculated for sure. It would feel shitty. It wouldn't feel good. But take that to the other one where you feel physically superior to the other guy, let's just say. More attractive than the other guy, that there's nothing that the guy has that you don't have, and yet she wants to get piped by this guy. Fucking P.B. Herman or whoever fits that image in your head. There's nothing that you can do, and there's really nothing you did wrong. It's an emotional connection that she has, and those tend to last longer than these physical flings. And so as far as which would be more painful, I think if you asked a woman, she would say the emotional one would hurt the most. I think for men, it'd be a similar answer. It'd be harder to understand and wrap your brain around. And it's what you don't know that eats at you after the fact. And so what would you guys pick? Jason Momoa or Pee-wee Herman? Who would you rather? I mean, you know what I mean.
Well, just based on looks, obviously Pee Wee Herman.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, who would you rather you have your wife cheat on you with? One, and I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the type, you know?
I would say the Jason Momoa, because at least most men have the understanding that they will not look like a Jason Momoa. And having that little bit of rationalization would at least help me feel better. But if for whatever reason my wife decided that she wanted a Pee Wee Herman type person, and the never understanding the reason why I wasn't providing the that piece that she was looking for, would just gnaw at me until I died.
That's kind of what I see with my cases. It's those ones that you just, what the fuck? The guy was fat. The guy was unattractive. The guy was short. The guy was this. The guy was whatever. I don't understand. What did I do wrong?
Right.
But you know, some other fling with Chad Brockington, and guys could logically connect to that easier. I don't know. What about you, Schnitzel? What if your husband was like, let's just say you had the choice of him cheating on you with Anne Hathaway or Roseanne Barr, circa 1989. Which would you prefer?
I'd probably choose Anne Hathaway so that he would get it out of his system. If he's saying it's a one-time thing, and I know minds can change later, but I guess, I mean, just looks wise, right? Like have the hottest thing you can think of, have it once. If you, but also this whole situation's fucked up anyway. So like it's hard to even really say.
Yeah, we'll
But
get back to that.
also I have a little breaking news if you want to do a little
Ooh.
checkered gingerbread.
I'll do it. Let's do it. What's the breaking news?
Okay, check the private chat.
The breaking news is. Do I have permission to read whatever's in this thing?
Oh,
Yes.
I
The-
was
so
not
the-
expecting that.
The complaint against Judge Mata, Gingriss's complaint against Judge Mata has been dismissed.
Oh, he's gonna be so mad.
This is breaking news.
Oh.
He is gonna be so pissed.
So he has made, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Clayton Eckert case, which I think all of you pretty much are that watch Flad, David Gingras filed a very public complaint against Judge Mata for misconduct, basically. And it's been summarily thrown out. Based on what I'm looking at, these pleadings, it says the complainants alleged a Superior Court judge conducted an independent investigation and discussed a case with a family member. Role of Commission on Judicial Conduct is to impartially determine, and I'm not going to read the entire thing, but to get to the bottom of it, a notice of change of judge for cause, memorandum and support.
Wow.
We've already seen that.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the official. Is the official
Right, this
decision?
is the
number?
official thing. Yeah, I can't.
We have to make a writing request to get everything else.
Yeah. They only
Right.
put the first few pages when they.
If you can you share your screen, the link I sent,
Yes, I can. Of course I can. Let's see.
and then also
Nice.
here, if you go to, I can't share links in chat, but if you go to this and do 265, that's the case number, and it'll show you that it's been officially dismissed now.
The paragraph of note at the beginning.
Conduct was sufficient. Every judge, case summary, background.
That's his stuff. That's all
It-
his
It's just
exhibits.
5 pages of the.
The first page is the
Oh,
only
okay.
good one. So as
Okay.
you scroll up, keep going. So
Oh,
there,
cool.
the third
Did not
paragraph
see
at on that.
Commission reviewed all relevant available information and concluded there was not clear and convincing evidence of ethical misconduct in this matter. Mine is therefore dismissed pursuant to Commission Rule 16A and 23A. Maybe I'll do a late night live stream to talk about that and dunk on
Wait.
G-Group a little bit.
Oh boy.
Sorry,
That'll
so
be-
I was having trouble listening to your scenario because I was having some excitement.
Oh,
Hey, justice
Some
for
non-romantic
Judge Mata.
excitement.
understandable. You know how gingerbread goes. All right. So let's
Anyway, but I think for me, like, I guess if he had an emotional connection with someone and it wasn't about the physicality, that would scare me as a spouse than them doing it just for physical
Yeah.
looks.
I'll just imagine, like, this guy had her when she was, what, 1999? That would have put her in, she said, she is 51. In 99, that would have made her, what, 23? He would have been 26 and in his prime. His prime is long since passed. He's in his mid-50s now. And so,
Not sharing the screen for the story.
you see, this is what I have you all here for. To,
But
there we go.
But it would be interesting to know if this person that she wants her hall pass for, is it a particularly young guy? Is it a silver fox or similar age person?
Let me give you an example. I don't think it really matters because let's just say it's a silver fox kind of guy, the kind of guy that was hitting on Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut at the beginning of that movie, talking about, do you know why women are virgins when they're married? Because it makes them easier to cheat on their husbands. And then he's going on about that whole thing as they're slow dancing and he's sipping from her glass of champagne. That guy was smooth as smooth gets, man. Smooth as a baby's bottom, smooth as silk. It could be that guy or like a Pierce Brosnan type. Would that make you feel better, Brad? What about a Kevin Costner? Doesn't matter if he's young or old. The point is, your wife has a sexual attraction, and that's kind of the leading headline. You know, the other stuff that comes afterwards is almost secondary. But yeah, I don't think it would make a difference. Not for me, anyway. So, where did I leave off with this? Part of me wants to. I find it hard to believe she. Okay, part of me thinks at least she's been honest with me, and she has been through a lot since finding out she had cancer. So maybe I should just let it happen. I certainly have no concept of what she went through, so I cannot dismiss how this affected her mental state outlook on life. Part of me wants to put my foot down and say this is not going to happen and deal with those consequences when they happen. Her BFF called me callous or even suggesting that I wouldn't let it happen. If somebody's BFF talked to me like that,
Yeah. Oh,
the
man.
conversation wouldn't go well. That's all I would say. I find it hard to believe that she's okay with the possibility of throwing away 20 plus years of marriage over some guy that she has had no relationship with outside of work, and that I should just call her bluff. Maybe she thinks similarly that I won't throw away the marriage because of one encounter. I just don't know what to do. I empathize with her, and then an instant later, I am angry. Part of me wants to know who this guy is. What does he look like? What has he got that is so enthralling for her? He's just a safe option? Is he married? Does his wife know? Would I be a callous asshole for saying no? What can I do besides walking away? So he's in a tough spot because you have investment here. You have 24 years of investment. Longer than that, 27 years. They've been dating since 1999, 26. My math is bad. And so, on the one hand, you're going to say, you know what? If you do this, we're done. We're over. You can't just do that so easily. You're throwing away like half of your life. It's gone. It's gone. You're going to start over at 54 years old?
Can I add?
Yeah.
I have a friend who was at the time probably right around 50, who her husband got cancer and got treatment and everything in remission. And he told her, I want a divorce. I like realize I want to sleep with other people. I want to go explore the world. I want to just be on my own. I don't want to be with you anymore. And he divorced her. And it was really hard for her at the time to manage all of that because they had been together for at least like 20 years by that point. So I guess, in reading this, I think of her and all of the support she gave him, all of the time she gave him. And they had kids, 2 kids together. For him to just be like, yeah, I want to fuck other women. I want to go live my own life without you.
Yeah. I hear that. And the cases that I get in my office, it's funny. I feel like the magical age is 48. 48. Now, I don't have any statistical evidence to share with you. I could just, in 11 years, this is what I know. Let me just take a quick poll. For the people in the chat, feel free to participate. Who do you think cheats more, men or women?
Women.
Brad?
You mean Bruce?
Brett said women.
Oh, I thought that was Bruce.
Oh my
Bruce.
gosh.
No, I really thought. I didn't get the names wrong this time. That sounded like you.
My answer is I don't know.
Oh, well, I can tell you in good confidence that it's. I have no numbers to back this up. I just know that it's probably 2 to 1.
You don't have an Excel spreadsheet?
I don't have an. I'm just the infidelities that I see walk into my office tend to be women.
It's 2 to 1.
Binders full of women.
It's about 2 to 1. It's about 2 to 1. Why? I don't know, but I feel like this is what I feel like. I feel like when men are done and they're ready to settle down, then they're ready to settle down. Now, there's obviously a time when they are not, when they, they're going out and exploring America. But when it's over, it's over. Like I get asked all the time, so what made you decide to settle down? It's like, well, you meet somebody and it's like the first answer is you meet somebody that you are not willing to let go of. The second answer is you get tired of the monotony of the first dates and the introductions and the chase, and because for men it's very much predatory. Like, what I mean by predatory is you're very much chasing after something all these times, and you get really good at it, or maybe you're not so good at it. You get marginally good at it, but at some point you tire of the chase, and it's like I don't need to. Like, I know what it's like being with somebody like that, and I know what it's like being like with somebody like you. I'm not genuinely interested in getting to know you. I don't care about what your hobbies are. I don't care if you like your job or not. I don't care about what your hopes and dreams are. We're here because, we're on a first date. We have designs on whatever. What am I really looking for? I don't know. You don't even know what you're looking for. But what I'm not looking for is to be bound to you for the rest of my life. And so at some point, it just gets boring. Dating to have sex is boring after a length of time.
You run out of energy and you just want to move to the country and grow big pumpkins.
Yeah. And then you're just good. You're good and content. You're not missing out on anything. Like, you've gone out and conquered or not conquered. You had your successes and failures, and you're just done. You're tired, man. Like, I'm good. I don't need to chase after Anne Hathaways anymore.
I think, following up on that idea, I think women are more likely to remarry after an ended marriage, with whether there was cheating or not, than men, because men would say they wouldn't. You don't need the ring and the paper and the ceremony to justify having the relationship.
I find the opposite to be true. I find that most women, after they separate, they never get married again. Really? No desire. Yeah. Men are the ones that are quick to, I found somebody in the Philippines. Let me just bring her over. And,
My friend got remarried. But I know it's not like you're saying.
Well, not to say that it never happens, because it for sure happens. But who's more likely to get remarried? My guess would be, my experience is that it's men. Mm-hmm. Just full stop. It's men. I think at some point men just want to be done and settle down and have somebody to hang out with or not hang out with. Men are simpler. Women, I feel like there's a part of them where they are chased and pursued in their teens, in their 20s, in their 30s. And at some point, that kind of dies down. And so much of their identity is tied to how they are perceived, their attractiveness. You're taught from a very early age, princesses and Disney princesses and Cinderella and Barbie dolls and all that kind of stuff. And then you age. Men don't give a shit about that. Women tend to be more affected by it. And I think when they get in their later years, they want to be noticed, and they want to be told that they're pretty, and they want to be sexually attracted to somebody. And if they spent 20 years with somebody who's, they've been with them in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and it progresses on as they age, it's a striking thing for women to no longer be the fresh meat in front of the tiger, so to speak. And they have a harder time dealing with it, and they're more susceptible to stupid guys coming in and saying, oh, this and that, forgetting that they used to know that when guys talk like that, they totally just wanted to bang. And they might even intellectually know that now. They just don't care because they are getting off on the energy of being attractive to somebody and feeding off that energy and experiencing those things and those emotions. And so they're more susceptible. Men understand that, most women are not there because the guy is attractive. Men understand that women are attracted to men for like 20 different things. One of them is physical attraction. The other could be like, oh, he's funny. He's got personality. He's got charisma. He has money. He's got stability. He's got all these other things. And so that, I feel, plays a large role in. What do you think? What do y'all think of that? Is that a hot take, or am I onto something?
I think it's a little bit of a hot take, but...
Well, who asked you, Brad?
What do you want me to do with it? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have an altering opinion?
I don't really agree or disagree. I mean, because I don't know what it can do. Like, generalizing, it's like, unless I'm studying something where I'm collecting data, like a scientist.
Yeah. Well, I can't look at it like
what can I do? What can I do with the information? I don't know what to do with it.
The funny thing about about relationships and people is oftentimes they're not beholden to formulas. They're very much beholden to feelings that are not logical. And so when I hear some of these young women, not even young women, in their mid-30s and their early 40s, the first thing out of their mouth is, this guy doesn't appreciate shit. He doesn't even talk to me. He doesn't touch me anymore. Doesn't look at me. Doesn't this and that. Those are the things that come out of their mouth. When men come in them off, it's like, I don't know, she cheated on me. She's banging the mailman or somebody, or she's banging the coworker, or she's threatening to take the kids, or threatening to do this and that. It's always some threats. From women, it's always, he's not doing this. From men, it's all, she's already done these things and he's leaving.
I see.
Mhm.
And
This
if
is
you
the
ask me,
pattern that you've found.
it's a
from your
pattern.
work.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
based on statistics. It's based on people. I mean, I guess I probably could categorize it and put it in a spreadsheet.
Sure.
I'm not good at spreadsheets, man. And so I'm basing this off of just my experience. What do you think about that, Schnitzel?
Can you say it again?
No, I can't. I said a lot.
I don't know. I think going back to your
Alright.
original point, using the idea that men go to Thailand and get married again is, I don't want to call it a fallacy, but it's
Oh, it is kind of a fallacy.
it's a you're putting a straw man out there, because in order to bring home the person that you want to stay with, you have to get married in order for them to come in. But if I'm hanging out in my local bar, then there's the likelihood that I'm not going to want to remarry.
I feel
Well-
like men like generally want or need, they maybe have some like need maybe to have like, this isn't gonna sound good, but to have like
Companionship?
someone take care of them.
No,
in
you're
a
right.
way-
I was going to say that. Yeah,
And
you're
I
right.
don't mean anything towards any of you guys by saying that, but I think maybe that's why they like, yeah, like you said, like looking for the companionship.
Hey, Rob wants to be.
Wait,
Rob
what do I
wants
want?
a wrench, and I'm going to give him one. How about that? As soon
I
as
need
I
to be
Rob,
taken
screw
care
you.
of?
You get no wrench.
I think I missed it.
Rob has been with us for, I don't know, over a year at least. He's getting a wrench. I just don't know how to do it. And Dominic isn't here. I'll figure it out. To that point,
Rob was very helpful at the June 10th hearing.
really, what did he do? I don't know. I don't know about that story.
He's a local,
Oh,
so
okay.
he just
I
gave
think
us
I-
some tips and helped us with set up the van.
You know what? Rob has a wrench. He should have a rush. Or a rush. He should have a wrench. He should have,
A rushed wrench.
yeah. Hell yeah. No, to Schnitzel's point, I think that that's true. If I were to ever get divorced, I can tell you this. I'm not getting married. I don't have a need to be taken care of. I just want to be left alone. I want to live in silence. I want to listen to my own music. I want to cook my own food. I want to, live in peace. I don't have a need to be coddled. I don't have a need to be taken care of. I think I do well. I would roam the earth and as the most interesting man in the world and just tell stories and hold court at local bars.
Who would
Well,
make
yeah.
sourdough bread for you, though?
Right?
I'd figure it out myself. It'd be something to do. I'm going to live my post-retirement life like Bruce the Moose over there.
It's true.
But I don't know if that's going to hold true like 10, 20 years from now. Maybe I want somebody to like cook and clean and do all these things and companionship and
But that only goes back to my point. If you for whatever reason get divorced or your spouse passes away, the likelihood of you wanting to get married versus having a permanent partner without going through the niceties of the marriage.
yeah. Well, that I don't need.
Right.
I think if my wife passed away, I'd very much be Robin Williams in that movie with Matt Damon. What was it? What am I thinking of, Bruce?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. I would be Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. My wife is dead, and I'm not getting remarried. It's done. That would be just how I would live my life. I would be fine with it. She could get remarried if she wants to. I don't give a shit. I'll be gone. I'll be like floating in the stars somewhere. I would
Never
be
say
Martin
never
Short.
again, man. That's
That's just your opinion, man. right. Let's what are we even talking about right now?
I don't know. I think he's gotten the shaft.
Yeah.
This other man's shaft.
He's gonna get the
This
shaft.
guy is in a rough situation.
It's
There's a
just
whole bunch of update links at the top. I don't know if you care about.
Yeah, I was gonna get okay. So 4 days later, so I read all of that. Let's read the update. So I received a ton of advice that I couldn't possibly. This is 4 days after the initial post. That I couldn't possibly respond to. I do appreciate the people who took the time. I was hoping that my opposition to her plans would give her pause, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. I said I am a hard no, and I'm not sure how I will feel about you if you go ahead with it. I was met once again with, this is for me. It will be one time. What can I say to help you deal with it? You'll get over it. You were meant to be regardless of the situation. Remarks leading up to Saturday. Can I just say that I know what my response would be.
Is he allowed to go bang some coworker once?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
you go out and do that. If you go out and do that, then you know what? Then I'm going to go out and bang people, and I'm not going to tell you about it, and you don't got to tell me about it, and we could live this life of ignorance is bliss, and that will just be how it'll be. But if you go and do this one thing, just know that I'm going to go do this other thing. If you want to open up that box, then go for it. But
and
like you said, life is short, and I don't want to miss out on any experiences, and I don't want to be all chained to you my whole life and deny myself the pleasures of earth on account of you. And so, look, go do that thing, and I will do these things.
I think Wink says a good point in chat.
can you remove Rob's message over my face?
Brad up.
you can put me on the bottom if you want. I'll hold you guys up.
Oh,
The one thing that I think I would pose and say, okay, you want to do that? That's fine. I'm going to go do this thing over here. And if either of us catches feelings because of this experience, then you initiating this hall pass is the reason for this. And
I wouldn't
as
even
long
go
as
that
you
far.
as long as you understand that, then, and because at this point you either do you either go forward with it, or I'm not going to be here when you come back.
Wink says, how can she guarantee she would only want to do it one time? And that's the thing. She doesn't want to just do it one time.
yeah. Like if you go get Halloween candy for all the kids, those little mini Snickers or
can't just do just
whatever,
one.
you can't just eat one little mini Snickers. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
can't. You can. It's kind of foolish to think that it's going to be a one-time thing on her. And so I would not litigate it with her. It's like, look, I don't give a shit about your reasons. You want to go do that, fine. But I'm going to take certain liberties myself, and I'm not going to tell you about them. If you tell me that you're not going to do it, then I won't do it. But if you go and do it, then I'm going to do stuff, and I'm never going to tell you about it, because that's not no way to live a marriage. I don't want to have an open marriage with you. I'm not going to be open about my sexual experience with other people with you just to get one over on you. You want to go have your fun? I'll have my fun. Because life is short. I only got a good 20, 30 years before stuff stops working. And so make your decision, but choose wisely. And this is the only conversation we're ever going to have about it. Of course, it's not the only conversation, but I would talk like that. Oh, Schnitzel's yelling at her kid or something.
What? That wasn't me.
That was my wife yelling at either my dog or
That
my
was
son.
me yelling at
Or you,
their
Brad.
dog.
All right, let's let me continue.
danger.
What was that voice about?
The Simpsons quote.
All right, so I was hoping so she left Saturday. Ostensibly. This is the kind of guy that uses the word ostensibly. Ostensibly to meet her coworkers, but in reality, fuck the guy. I asked her to text me when she was leaving for the bar, and when she did, asked her if she was really going through this. Her response was, I'm not answering any more questions tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wow.
Blocked my wife. Then I did something either stupid or brilliant. I went to the bar where the get together was. Oh, that's the stupidest thing. That's such a bad idea.
Wait, what? He went to the party?
He went to the bar where this was happening. Well, not the bar, but a transit bench across the street. I waited for a long time.
What?
It was running through my mind, the leading up to this event, that I need to know who this guy was. Maybe to compare myself against him, to see what he had that I do not, It was driving me crazy, not knowing who he was and what was so special about him that she would ruin a marriage for. After what seemed like eternity, a woman that I recognized from my wife's office left the bar and got in a cab. Soon, other people started filing out, and a whole group came out, and people were hugging a man and shaking his hand. I assumed that had to be the guy. I didn't see my wife and had a brief thought that maybe she called it all off. I unblocked her. There were no messages. Everyone said their goodbyes and left. Dude was standing outside for a few minutes, and then my wife came out. She looked around, took his hand, and started walking away together.
That's when I punched him in the back of the face.
Of all the emotions I went through, trepidation, sadness, anger, it was disgust that really encapsulated the event for me. This guy was short, fat, bald.
Oh, it was PB
We answered
Herman.
the question.
All the things I cannot compete with. Ultimately, I felt like a pervert for watching them from a distance. I followed until they got to the hotel and turned around and went home. I woke up Sunday morning. I put a lock on the master bedroom door. I moved her things to the spare room, left a note asking her to find other accommodations as quickly as possible. I visited another friend who was a lawyer, and he gave me some sage advice and a couple of recommendations for divorce attorneys and made the introductions. My wife had been calling me numerous times since around 11 or so. Once blocked, the calls go to voicemail. I listened to the first couple, but felt nothing but some satisfaction when she couldn't get through to me, and she was obviously becoming concerned. I didn't want to go home, but I left in such a hurry that I didn't plan an overnight properly. I got home around 9, and as per my buddy's advice, I recorded the interaction. This is probably a state that deals in paramours. I was halfway up the stairs when she came up from the family room asking what was going on. Could we talk? I thought we talked about this. I just answered with, I'm not interested in discussing this tonight, and went to bed. After not getting a response from me through the door, she left me alone. I would feel kind of like a child for not talking with her and shutting the door on her, but I just couldn't look at her. Monday, I got up and ready for work. She was waiting for me and asked if we could discuss getting back to normal. I said, you have been doing all the talking for the both of us for the last week. Why don't you continue? And left for work. I have an appointment with the attorneys my friend recommended. All right. A month later, how much longer is this?
Yeah,
This
right.
thing is long.
that's pretty
Yeah.
long.
That's what she said.
This guy's life story. Oh boy.
Hurt my IUD. Right. My lawyer. Damn it, Bruce.
Oh no.
My lawyer wasn't available for a few days, so I was faced with the reality of having to live with my wife in the interim. I really didn't want to go home, have any discussion, let alone a discussion about our relationship. When I did get home, I was basically ambushed by her friends and my mother-in-law. Instead of taking the remorseful approach, they decided that a full court press was what the situation warranted, and I was basically berated by them. How would that conversation go with you, Bruce? Brad, both of you?
I mean, he's supposed to be getting a lawyer, hitting the gym, and deleting Facebook, and doing
Totally.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Is there any other option? But you have a whole house of hens, in-laws, family members, friends of hers, put it on full court press on you, talking about how you're the asshole somehow. Does that conversation go?
Well,
Hmm.
going back to a previous flat that we did, do you tell them that it was her who wanted the hall pass and ended up breaking the vows? Or
No, this is what I would say. Like, listen, I love and respect all you guys, but with all due respect, what's going on right here is none of your all's business. And I'm not going to talk about it with you, and I need some time. I'd appreciate if you guys would leave. And if you're not going to leave, then I'm going to.
how can you trespass someone if someone who has an interest in the property wants them there?
Yeah, you could. Yes, but the problem with that is now we're getting technicalities. If
Oh, boy.
she's also an owner of the house, and if she gives permission, then that That's
Okay,
enough.
so no, you can't.
Yeah. If he's the only one there, then yeah, he can.
Right.
But, and
my permanent address was with my ex, and he got upset about who knows what that time and wouldn't let me in the house, and he was like, I own this house, you can't come in.
like hell he does. He should have called me.
Well, he works for the government and he was a police officer, so it was like I couldn't really call the police.
Oh, boy.
That was a whole fucked up situation.
That's
Yeah,
when
I mean, all you can do is leave or block the phone numbers like they're Nick Vial or something. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go full on like disclosing all their business. I'm assuming they know the business because they were over there trying to talk him into it before it ever happened. So I just wouldn't want to discuss it with them. If their position is I'm the asshole somehow, we're not talking about this. I'm not talking about it with you.
Yeah.
You guys are not on my team.
Any
So
questions? Talk to my attorney.
yep. All right. So I listened with a dumbass smirk on my face, and when there was a lull in their fury, I asked if they were all done now. Then I asked my wife if there was anyone in her circle of friends or anyone else that she forgot to tell about this. I quietly informed all of them that I was going to sit down with their husbands and tell them about how they verbally abusing me, shaming me, and trying to coerce me into staying with a cheater. I would just not have time to do all of that.
Just go on scorched earth.
Yeah.
That's just not the move. I mean, at least for me, it wouldn't be the move.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys would do?
No.
I'm kind of rooting for him now.
I'm rooting for him, but it's like it's a bad idea, his approach. The Scorched Earth thing.
It
But
makes for a good movie. Is this all AI fake stuff or is this real?
no, this
Yeah.
one seems genuine. I don't think this one is AI. It's not so outlandish. There's not like
too wacky.
yeah.
This could happen.
So my soon-to-be ex-wife sort of apologized. She said that she regretted the entire thing. I said there was a difference between regret and remorse. You regret what happened because of the cause and effect. You have regret because your life will never be the same. Our relationship will never be the same because you were wholly and willfully unconcerned about me and what I wanted, which is true.
Yes.
But in her defense, let me play devil's advocate. There was another path that she could have taken. She could have just not told him at all. Did what she had to do, and he'd be none the wiser. And they'd still have a semblance of the marriage that they had before. And she would have got it out of her system, maybe. I don't know.
What's worse, the fact that she could be living a lie of a life for years, or him finding out that he's been living an even deeper lie of a life if he finds out?
As a lawyer or as a man?
As a man.
As a man, then it doesn't matter. Cheating is cheating, right? As a lawyer, if you could get away with it, if you could do it, and you could get away with it, and nobody's none the wiser, then better to not tell him than to tell him everything and go through what you're going through now. My legal advice is, look, do what you want, but if you tell him this, it's gonna turn out bad. So you got to decide for yourself. Look, morally, I can't advise you, but legally, if he finds out that you cheated and you're admitting to cheating, and it seems to be a state where paramours are a thing, then you are being legally impacted by your decision to disclose. But as a man, it doesn't matter.
Is this even in the States? What did he call the bus stop? He called it some transit thing?
Well, there's some people up in North Dakota that use
in
the
Europe or something? I don't know.
By the way, my voice is starting to come back, man. I'm really happy with that.
Good.
I was thinking I was going to lose it for like a good. I know. So she asked if I had any questions that she would answer then now. Well, let me ask you guys. You know what? I think that's a question worth exploring. Would you rather your partner be open with the fact that they're about to bang some other person and just tell you all about it? Or would you prefer them, if it was possible, to do it in secret and never disclose anything?
I think it depends on a lot of other things. Like if
Oh, yes,
I'm like if I'm a quadriplegic and like couldn't have sex or something,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, I want to live vicariously through you. Like, go have sex with men, women, whoever, and then come and talk to me about it. Like, isn't there a movie that's like that?
Wait, now you want to watch?
The ultimate cook.
No, just like come and tell me about your experiences so I can like it's almost like instead of being there, you can just I don't know, enjoy the thought of your partner being pleasured.
But that's an
Mm,
extreme example. Let's take it where you're a perfectly healthy 50-year-old woman.
I'm 50 years old.
I don't know, 37,
No, you know that skit from
28.
SNL. You know it? I'm
No.
a Sally O'Malley.
Hell yeah.
I got
Yeah,
a jet.
she always says I'm 50 years old.
I got a jet. I would want them to tell me and basically be like, "Hey, we should break up because I'm about to go do this. So let's break up."
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Just rip the Band-Aid right off.
I'm kind of there with Bruce.
Mhm. But I got to get going, guys. It's been
all
great.
right, Bruce. We love you, man.
Thanks for the
peace
update on
out
the
there.
case schnitzel. That was great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See,
I could when I got the message, I was like, "What?" Excitement.
Totally. That's how we get off nowadays in 2025. You know?
So sad. So sad. I think like I mean there's I don't see a situation in which I would like be down for that. I guess for me it'd be like we both like we just had an open marriage and we're both like doing things if we want. But like you have to worry about any STDs. I guess at that age, I mean I don't know if he's had a vasectomy, but if he hasn't, he could get somebody pregnant.
Yeah.
If he were, out doing stuff. She obviously she couldn't. But yeah, like you said, like even the feelings develop, and that like I've had friends who were married and the wife decided she wanted to have like an open relationship. It wasn't necessarily for any particular person. But they did it,
Yeah.
and then she decided she wanted to leave him.
Yeah.
And then I have another set of friends who they're married, but they're polyamorous, but only in the way of the one guy. So he's allowed to have other boyfriends and sleep with other people.
He's
The
bi.
other guy, what?
He's bi?
No, they're gay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nope.
that's all right.
Yeah. I know it's different that way, but anyway, it's just so interesting. Like different things work for different people.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this dude is obviously not all for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you say something like that, you're declaring war on your marriage. And she just did it so inartfully. She basically said, I'm going to do this regardless of whether or not you're cool with it or not. And don't be a dick. I almost died. Life is short. I need to get this out of my system. So I need you to be cool with this. Basically what she told him.
It was not only that, but she gaslit him and said that his toxic masculinity is what's.
That pissed me off. Oh,
like-
I'm toxically masculine because I want you to be monogamous? Okay. All right.
Because
Let's
we
explore
both
that
agreed
sometime.
20 years ago that we're going to be monogamous, and then now
That
because
was
of cancer, you're like, well,
Yeah.
there's so much in life to be experienced. I'm going to go fuck off and do every other guy that I can see.
You want to do other guys, Brad?
I do not.
All right.
I do not. Do you, Omar?
Brad, do you want to be my Valentine? My secondary Valentine?
I will absolutely be your Valentine.
That was not a serious request, Brad.
I'll film
God damn
it.
it.
Put your leg up a little higher. Turn your head.
What?
I said I'll film it.
We need an intimacy coordinator.
I am. I'm all in one.
We need 3.
3.
All right. So she I said that after all our years together, your lack of respect for me was astonishing. I finished by saying that I would never be able to look at myself in the mirror again if I condoned that level of disrespect and stayed with you. I said, I hope we can get our separate ways amicably and that I have an appointment with a lawyer later in the week. I again asked her to find some other accommodations. She simply said, I'm not going anywhere. We've been married for 20 years. You belong to me. I belong to you. And she wants to redo the vows now, right?
Of course.
We are not getting a divorce. I will give you all the time you need and do whatever you need to recover from this. We'll get past it. She has asked me to go to marriage counseling, which I refused. Why would I go to counseling? I did nothing to warrant needing a therapist's advice. She wants to go to counseling because she wants the therapist to convince you to take her back. That's why she wants you to go to counseling. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. As far as I can tell, all you really did was try to uphold your vows. Fucking asshole. Imagine the audacity. But when people say those things, that's what she's really talking about. So I had her served. I gave her notice. I gave her a notice to vacate. She has moved in with her mom. I find her constantly coming to see if I need anything or make suggestions, like what if we had an open relationship only on your side, or threesomes. She wants threesomes now. I don't know. Which seems to kind of desperate and pathetic, rebuffing her constantly and telling her she has to call to ask permission before coming by, and finally seems to getting through to her that there will be no us going forward, which is honestly kind of heartbreaking. She has said that she will drag the divorce out for as long as possible. Well, it's not up to her.
That's malicious.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to deal with that. He's going to call my office to figure out what it is. But so far has been compliance. The worst part of all this is telling my daughter that we're getting a divorce and why. Followed closely by her begging me to give her mom another chance.
Oh.
I'm not sure I would have
how old she is.
afforded the same consideration, they didn't say, if I was the one who was cheating. On his daughter, I think it was just a gut reaction in the weeks that have passed, and the more she understands what has happened, the more she is becoming with her mom. There's update number 3, and this is the last of it. There's not much to report, so we're in the process of getting a divorce. My soon-to-be ex-wife has said that she will give me whatever I want in the divorce if I agree to attend marriage counseling, but I'm not interested. There was a bit of back and forth while we worked out what separation looks like in everyday life from this point forward. As a result, we have only just agreed to the confines of the legal separation. So as we move towards defining the divorce language, maybe my stance may change. The house was a premarital asset, and they're going into stuff. My daughter isn't taking her mother's side. The friend group husbands were upset at the level of complicity. All right. Let me close this out.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Exactly.
I don't think he was asking you that question. I think he was just telling us about his situation.
I'm just putting it out there for the record.
For the record, he's not the asshole. Do you think that she would have been better off just banging the dude and not telling her husband?
Well, from whose perspective?
From everybody.
No.
I know what you're trying to say, but let's just say from everybody's perspective. If she just shuts the fuck up and does what she has to do, gets it out of her system, doesn't involve the in-laws or her friends or her sisters or whatever, doesn't involve her daughter at all, does what she does, and then comes back home, nobody's all the wiser. This guy's not even thinking about her like that. Do you think that that's the move?
No.
If it's to get what she wants, then sure, but then it's going to eat
risk.
up on her. And if she finds it pleasurable, quote unquote, and she wants to do it again, then she's going down the slippery slope where she's going to get caught.
It doesn't sound like she was doing it for physical attraction based on the description of the guy. She was doing it because, I don't know, maybe he was a good storyteller. Maybe he was a good joke teller. Maybe he was funny. Maybe he had charisma. Maybe he made her feel pretty because he's been doting on her for like 12 years at the office. And now was going to be his big chance. Maybe it was a lot of things. But it wasn't like this superficial reason why she wanted to do it. She had a life-altering scare of cancer. She overcame it. She felt her mortality in the moment, and she wanted to experience more of life, and there's nothing wrong with that. The danger of not disclosing to your husband is him finding out anyway. It's hard for a woman to hide um, those kinds of emotions that go with having an affair.
It's been super easy for me.
Damn.
No, I think it depends on, yeah, like what kind of person is she morally? Is she the kind of person who could hide it and feel okay about it and have it not eat at her, like Brad said? Or
Yeah.
is she going to just one day blurt it out and say, like, I did this 2 years ago?
She's clearly the kind of person that could not keep that under wraps. She doesn't want it on her conscience, but she wanted him to do her bidding.
He wanted to validate her wanting to do it.
Yeah, I think she was hoping like, oh yeah, we'll just open up the marriage and I'll go bang some chick. You bang some guy, and then we'll not talk about it, or maybe we'll talk about it.
The thing that bothers me is the disrespect for her partner. Even if he hadn't gone through like helping her through her like cancer treatment and her cancer journey, I think it's still just so disrespectful to not share that you want to do it, but as far as she went to say like, well, I'm doing it anyway, regardless of what you think or how you feel.
In
It's no
addition to
wonder
that,
it says, I can see that working out on paper, but never morally. Well, the problem with that is it's like that Edgar Allan Poe poem, Quoth the Raven, the beating heart underneath the basement. Like you keep things under wraps, but morality and psychology is a son of a bitch, man. It is really hard to be involved in a relationship that long, to have built that kind of a castle, that kind of a family, and do something like that and not have it affect you such that people won't be able to notice. And so there's a reason why she felt the need to come out to this guy. I don't know what's the right answer to that or not. All I know is, I mean, that's for everybody individually to decide. But for her to come at her husband this way and expect him to just be cool with it, like nothing ever happened. Like, look, I'm doing this with or without your permission. So, and then expecting him, almost demanding, like taunting him. And when I'm done, you're gonna be right here, baking my sandwich, bitch. Baking my sandwich, making my sandwich.
and if you're not here because you're letting your toxic masculinity overpower your brain, intelligence, emotions, then you need to think about that. And it's so degrading to him. And then the idea that she wants him to take her back, and the idea that she'll open up the marriage to let him do whatever just to try and get the relationship back. It shows that she doesn't care about the relationship. She wanted the security of him,
Stability.
the house, and the child. She didn't care about her husband.
Yeah, and I think she should have asked for marriage counseling before she decided to go sleep with someone else.
Yeah, because then it's actually marriage counseling. It's not marriage counseling to convince you to stay, which I don't know of any therapist that would actively take on that task. To Rob's comment, remembering the movie Indecent Proposal, if you're unfamiliar, it had Woody Harrelson, Demi Moore, Robert Redford was like this millionaire, billionaire type, and offered them $1 million if I could sleep with your wife. And then they hem and they haw about it for like half the movie, and then she goes and does it. And then the fallout from that is what makes the movie. Like the guy just couldn't get out of his head. Was he good? Was he better than me? Was he this and that? And it was a fascinating inquiry into the psychology between men and how they deal with their feelings towards their women, and if they're going to advance their desires or pleasures towards other men. And that's not even the only one of that. There's like other movies that cover that same premise, but Indecent Proposal was a really good one. Let me ask you two. Let's just say that your partners go to you and tell you the same thing. Look, I'm going to bang somebody else, just so you know. I expect you to be cool with it and say what you're going to say, but I'm doing it anyway. And we'll talk about it when I get back. What would you say?
Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's so funny. I read, I don't know if it was on Instagram or Twitter, but a woman had said, "Here's divorce papers," and then the guy signed it and said, "Okay, then where do we go?" And then she started crying, ripped up the divorce papers, and ran off. And it was like, why would you do that and then be upset that you just agreed to it? Because if someone was to just hand you divorce papers, you a person going through the 5 stages would be like, no, let's go through bargaining and denial and all this stuff and be like, no, let's try and work on it and get together. But the immediate, okay, we're just going to sign it and
Yeah.
we're divorced now, thanks for everything, just completely destroys the emotional want of someone to see the other person trying to wanting to fight for the relationship.
I can tell you from personal experience that the one time that happened to me, in my first marriage, when I was like 27 or so, I don't know, I was a youngster. I got married when I was 22,
Mhm.
and when it happened to me, I never looked at her the same way again. It was like there was nothing that could have been done or said to rehabilitate her in my eyes. I was done. I didn't know that I was done, but I acted like I was done. I basically turned into a single guy and just started being single as a 27-year-old guy, and it inevitably led to a divorce. And I remember specifically having a conversation. Look, if you want to be separated or whatever, because she pitched the idea of, I just need to find myself, and which is probably valid because she was a youngster too. And I was like, okay, but if you want to be separated, then we're going to be separated, and I'm gonna do what I do, and I did, and it ultimately led to the end of the marriage, like a very short time later. But I remember the feeling of all of that. And when you know that your partner's done that, you never look at them the same way again. There's somebody different. They're not on your team anymore.
Yeah.
There's something else. And so intellectually, morally, spiritually, it's hard to just accept that they're going to do those things and you're just supposed to be cool with it. Very difficult.
Mhm.
And so, I don't know. Have any of you guys ever experienced anything like that?
Thankfully, no.
I have a really weird story from back when I was in the military that I could go into or not, but
It's
Do it.
definitely applicable to this.
so I was 19 or 20 at the time, and I was dating the sister of someone I knew who was still living in Michigan. And she flew down to be with me, and we had been dating for a number of time, and we were actually engaged at the time. And we hung out for this weekend, and we went and saw her family down in Virginia, and then came back, and we were arguing like the entire time, and we were arguing to the point where I slept in my car in the driveway of her family until it got cold enough and I went inside and slept on the couch. But we didn't talk the entire drive home. And then I dropped her off at the airport, and she's like, well, I guess this is it. And then she left her engagement ring in the cup holder. And then I said, yep, I guess this is it. And then she flew home, and then we barely talked since.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
One way to go about it.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If my wife ever said, hey, so I'm going to go bang this dude. Like, shit. You're going to go bang that dude. All right. Just know, if you do that, I'm going to go do my thing. I tell her exactly what I've been saying. I mean, there's no coming back from that. There's not. I've never seen a successful open relationship. I'll tell you that much.
Straight.
Like 99% of the time, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. There's too many variables. There's too many unknowns. There's too many insecurities. I've never seen a successful one. Maybe they're out there. Maybe they exist. I've just never. When somebody brings up open marriage is already dead. Within like 6 months, it can be done. And so, I don't know. Take with that what you will. But that leads us to our other hypothetical. It's not even hypothetical. It's a case. I discovered my wife of 7 years is cheating on me. He's 30. She's 28. She doesn't know that I know. So I guess this is update number 3. This is his story. I got an STI test a couple weeks ago. It's negative, but my doctor gave me the HPV vaccine. What would you do if your partner gave you an STD? Like, what if you just like randomly went for like a physical, and turns out you got frickin' gonorrhea.
Like husband partner?
Yeah. I mean, any partner, I guess. I mean,
you don't just randomly get gonorrhea, syphilis, any of those other things
from a toilet seat
thing, you know.
Yeah, I'd have a lot of questions, and I'd probably be very angry initially.
Very angry. I'm holding my sword of truth that Dominic gifted me from Japan when he was out banging trannies. He was on his oh, I miss cracking on Dominic, man. Anyway. All right, so it turns out. Oh, I skipped something. He said if I've been exposed, it could take years to show up. So he told me to check my dick for warts for the next several years.
Ugh.
Well, that's a nice thing.
I've got a new hobby.
Hey, so you're going to want to check yourself for boils and warts on your shafts. If you, fuck, dude. Turns out in my state, you can't record someone one-sidedly unless you are involved in the
two-party state.
Yeah. So the conversation between Emily and Bev and Emily and John are illegal, and I broke the law. I feel like I should start at point 1. I'm going to continue because I don't know where part 1. On the advice of my attorney, I hired the PI she suggested. I gave him the info for the GPS tracker on Emily's car. He said that after hearing my story, he decided he was going to follow John rather than my wife. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but he said that it sounded like John was more into my wife than she was with him. So John would probably be the one initiating contact rather than Emily. I figured, oh well, he's the pro, not me. He assured me that he's seen cases like mine before, where the spouse was not serious but just looking for some fun on the side. And because of the withholding of attention, it causes the affair partner to double down on the relationship and pursue more. He said women don't like needy men, and men don't like needy mistresses. Makes sense. On the sage advice of all of you and my lawyer, I stopped having sex with Emily. I don't know if I would advise that to any of my clients to stop having sex with anybody.
If you may have an STI, could be.
I'm not a fucking Dr. Brad. I'm a divorce attorney. It makes literally no legal difference who he's banging. And that's exactly what I would tell him. Now, for health reasons, I mean, maybe he should wrap up. Maybe he should practice a little discernment, but, that's not my business. I told her there were layoffs coming at work, and I was really anxious and not in the mood. I don't know why, but she seemed really frustrated by that. It's been difficult living with her and pretending. The backstory is he knows that she is cheating with John, and she doesn't know. And he's withholding sex because of the STI thing, it sounds like. So hashtag blessed. What? Bounce off. Could I do my voices? Bruce isn't here. Bruce doesn't like my voices.
I talk like this. This is what this guy in my head sounds like. PB Herman. This is also my stock voice for David Gingerbread.
Oh.
How about that?
All right, it's not working. I'm not going to do it.
He really likes impersonating you, so.
Yeah, but if I were to impersonate him, it'd have to go in reverse.
You'd be in jail.
Make my voice really high. I can't even make my voice that high. No, I can't. My name is David Gingras, and I've lived so hard and have come so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. I like Laura Owens. Laura Owens is innocence. Fuck all of you. All of you are occults, JCS, bullshit, whatever.
Flat earthers.
I can't, man. That's my David Gingras impression. I can't do his voice. I don't know what he sounds like, but he sounds like a used car salesman.
It's just
And
so unforgettable.
his voice?
Yeah.
I've forgotten all about his voice. What does he even sound like anymore?
I don't know. An asshole.
He sounds like a dick. He sounds like a used car salesman. He sounds like a fucking liar. But I'll tell you what, if you get to impersonate my voice, I really can impersonate his voice. If I try to impersonate this voice, the closest I would get,
It would have to sound like that. It comes so hard and goes so far. In the end, doesn't really matter. All right.
All right.
That's great.
How's that for my jingers?
oh, damn it. How's that for my English impression?
It's perfect.
All right. All right. So I figured he's the pro, not me. He assured me that he's seen cases like mine before where the spouse was not okay. Whatever. On the stage
No.
advice, John and I.
John, that
Yeah.
one.
Well, I guess he got slightly better treatment for a while, but I'm the lucky one because I got to hear the sound "I love you" bounce off my eardrums from the hole in the middle of her face, and John doesn't. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed, bitches. It used to be.
He so means so much to hear for me to hear.
Is this a better?
No, that's not me.
Whoa.
That sounds like David Gingras trying to impersonate my voice.
That's the bar coming after him.
No, this is the. Oh wait, this sounds like 1920s radio. I like this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And this one is, no, I don't want to sound like a but what are we doing right now on Flat?
That's Daft Punk.
This is not deaf. Oh, that's not. This is nothing.
This is, I don't know, Isuzu from The Exorcist. This is the voice of God. Give all your money to Omar Serrano. Lest you be infected with genital warts for no reason and have to explain it to your partner.
All right. Oh, what's your BAC looking like right now, Brad Schnitzel?
0.
Very low.
No, I'm like 0.08. I can't even blame it on that. I'm just being silly.
It's
all right.
good. It's fun.
Valentine's Day. The PI said John left flowers and a gift at my wife's salon. The PI said when Emily came to work and saw it, she threw everything in the shared dumpster in the strip mall without even looking at it. She was pissed. My PI retrieved the gifts. It was really expensive lingerie and a dozen red roses. Brad, are you a lingerie guy?
I would say it'd be nice, but I also understand that it's very expensive things to just be laying on the floor.
I say, here's my opinion on lingerie.
I never wear it. Never, ever.
Lingerie is such unnecessary variable in intimacy. It's coming off anyway, man. It's not even like I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not into the lingerie thing.
I can't be sexy. Like I'll just laugh. So if I were wearing it, I'd just be like cracking up the entire time.
Well, that's a move, I
I'd be
guess.
like this. Does this look nice?
I would say the better.
Do you like how this makes my ass look? Does it make my ass look bigger, better, plumper? I'm trying to do the green.
Does it make my ass look perfect? How you like them? How you like my breasts?
I think a nice pair of yoga pants and a well-formed bra would go a lot longer than lingerie.
What about just butt out naked? How about that?
Well-formed boobies.
Old-fashioned. I know.
Yeah.
Well-formed naked boobies. What's wrong with that?
I didn't say there was anything wrong with that.
Using in lieu if you're wearing something, but in
if you're
lieu
going to
of-
be wearing something, I think that would be the better investment than something that you're going to change into to then immediately take off.
practical and sexy.
Totally.
Right.
There it is.
Anyway, I don't get the lingerie thing. A lot of people like it. You know, I'm not knocking it. I think I'm in the minority when I say it. I just don't give a shit.
Well, all three of us don't give a shit.
Well, I think we are all in the minority. I would suspect. What do you all in the comments think? All right. So, Emily. Oh, Valentine's Day. Emily left the other girls at the salon. It was, and went to meet up with John. PI got it all. They met in a far corner of a hotel parking lot. The whole thing took around 45 minutes. It was an intense conversation. The PI said Emily seemed angry, shook her head a lot. No, a lot. He said he thought John was trying to coax her into a room. Lots of touching. Nothing overtly sexual happened, but the PI said he's seen cases, one with less, and that their body language, behavior, and the way it panned out is the kind of thing judges look for in adultery cases. So they're obviously in a state where this matters legally. So I guess that's another gift from John because oh wait, did I skip something? It was obvious that they had a relationship. It was at the time that I got a weird "I love you" phone call from Emily. I remember her voice was off. It was like she was trying to check in on me. My attorney advised me to photos of Emily's appointment book for the last year or so. Emily likes using a physical calendar book to write everything down. I noticed there are appointments with John in the book too. Before, I would have just thought of them as business meetings because Emily said John was mentoring her in small business stuff. I found a Mont Blanc pen. You know those pens cost like $600?
I'm not familiar with the Mont Blanc pen, so
I think I've seen it in like maybe Better Call Saul or some show like that. But yeah, they're like the really nice ones.
Now that you talk about a waste of money, I'm just saying. I guess that's another gift from John because I sure as hell didn't buy it for her, and she always just used Bic pens before. Emily was busy with work.
That's a big difference.
That is a big difference.
I was going to make the joke that if she was getting instructions on small business, then I feel bad for John.
Getting instructions on small penises. Would it be acceptable if your partner was having an affair with somebody that had a micro penis?
What's the point of that?
Well, it would be my husband.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, your husband's going to be so mad at you.
Well, he is my partner.
Like, well, you're stuck with me anyway, so.
Does that mean you want me to tell my micro penis story?
That's up to you if you want to tell that or not. I'm certainly not going to ask you to do that. As we pause in awkward silence, wondering whether or not micro.
Do I share or do I not?
Oh, you know what, man? If at some point, oh shit, what did I do? I pressed the button. If at some point you want to share the micro penis story, you are more than welcome to do it on Flad.
Omar knows it, so
I know the micro penis story.
I think you need to be more boozed up to tell it.
Yeah.
Let me just down my bourbon and
oh God.
She is not properly lubricated. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pour me another
Delmore 15.
Another whiskey. Hey, Brad, tell me a story while I'm doing it.
Tell you a story, man.
A lot of micro penis.
I don't have micro penis stories. You can't ask me to tell micro penis stories when I obviously don't have that problem. Come on, jeez.
What if you saw one? What would you do?
If I saw micro penis?
I'm not over here trying to judge other guys' junk. I'm trying to focus on my task and get out.
I'm trying to encourage conversation. That's all.
See, that's the thing. It's like one of the funny tropes in anime is in order to try and get fan service in the anime, you will have girls who will be in like a changing room and they'll be like judging each other based on their assets. And it's so funny because my wife is like, women don't do that. Why do they keep doing this? And it's like, well, because they know who they're marketing their audience to. That's how. And it's like, guys, especially in the bathroom, we're focused on the one thing we need to do. Either go to the bathroom and get out, or go change in the locker room, go shower, do whatever your thing. And you're focusing on anything but any other guys in the room.
Brad, if you and I went to the urinal, would you take a peek at my junk?
Just a little one.
It also depends on like, can you see it in your peripheral vision, or is it like
no? That's not a thing.
It's an intentional look. You can't just like, oh no, you have to look. And if the other guy catches you, then you're gonna get punched in the face.
I disagree, man. I don't feel the need to look at other dudes when I'm doing my business, man. I've never understood that. By the way, Erica P talks about micro-vag. Micro-vag is a thing. Micro-vag is a thing where women have just small vaginas. I've You know,
I
I've
mean, in
dated
a
one.
painful
I have a
way,
micro badge
or
story that I'm not going to be sharing on Flat unless.
is it micro in a painful way, or in a like?
I think it's a painful way.
Well, yes, but like
Well, not
it wasn't a
painful for
medical
you.
condition. If that's what you're looking, if that's what you're thinking, it was
I was
micro in a way where it was just like, well, never mind. I'll tell you what. I'll share that story if you tell your story.
Oh my.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's too tempting. I'm gonna tell my story then. You promise?
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe I should super chat that one. Hey, by the way, one of the ways that you could, the best way to support the show is to indulge in super chats. And I'll tell you what, if we get 10 super chats between now and the end of the show, I will tell my micro badge story. My wife is
And
gonna
I
be
will tell
thrilled.
my micro penis story because I'm not
Yeah,
telling
if
that
you
one
all want
out.
the micro penis and the micro vag story, then we need 10 super chats. Matter of fact, I'm going to make it a goal. Oh, see, this is where I miss Dominic.
Oh,
Dominic,
what's he doing?
do the
Where is he?
thing.
Dominic is more behind the scenes now. He doesn't really come into the studio anymore, which kind of sucks.
Okay.
But he's doing the Lord's work over there. If you would ask his opinion.
Winks, tell the story.
We got the first one.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know if the goal is up yet. If it's going to count.
Micro penis and vag story with 10 super chats of $5 or more. I didn't write that. That's what the thing says. Teal level. I don't know. I didn't know there was colors, but to the extent that there are. And
Just make sure you
winks.
count winks. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't wink at me when you super chat me. That's weird. Oh, my mom is so proud. My mom is so proud. All right. Where did I leave off? Bruce would be saying, "Oh boy," a lot. Yeah, he would be saying it. He'd be making a lot of jokes about antlers and stuff and all those kind of stuff. All these things. I learned from Laura Nighty that there was a thing called ferret skipping or whatever she said.
What?
What does she say? Ferret jumping or ferret skipping? You drop a ferret into your pants and see who could last the longest. It's a thing in the UK. And then she played a video for me, and there's this English dude that says there are some ferrets that are learned as the claw or claws, and there are some ferrets that are known as nippers. And I was like, well, with my luck, there's no chance that I wouldn't get a nipper. And then somebody was like, is it cheating if you wear underwear? I was like, I kind of feel like it is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the point is like you're worried. What are we doing right now? So, you know what? I'm going to move on.
No, but I would not participate in that activity.
Yeah, that's not
it's not a sport that I would want to get good at.
Furry rodents in pants just sounds like a really weird thing, and you don't want to be known as what was that guy?
You want to get
Hamster
attacked by a nipper.
Mr. The guy they found who had broken into a pet store with all of the hamsters in his pants and whatnot.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why? What? You know,
Legal Vices did the story. It was.
Ooh, I'll tell a gross story. When I was in
Mr.
middle
Pancake. That's what it was.
When I was in middle to high school, I would pack my lunch every day, and I had a spoon from like an old Trix cereal box. Trix that would change color.
Kids.
That's right. It would change color. It would like fit on your fingers like a spiral shape.
Wow.
And it would change colors if it was warm or cold.
Yeah, the color changing.
Yeah. So one day I got up to throw my trash out, and I came back, and my spoon was a different color.
Oh.
It was the warm color, and it should not have been.
Someone had licked it, or
one of the boys I was sitting with had put it, I found out later, put it down his pants.
Ew.
What?
And warmed it up, put it back in my lunchbox.
Ew.
No wonder with the two says sharing is caring. That's not $5, but I'm going to count it anyway. So we're at 2 super chats.
Nice.
We need 8 more. We need 8 more.
Close.
Yeah, I don't even want to tell my story. My wife is going to be saying
You set it up.
I did, but because you threatened to tell the micro penis story, it's like, all right. Well, oh, who's sending me private chats?
We've been talking backstage.
Was that you, Bruce? Brad?
We're having a whole chat going on back there.
Yeah.
Bruce, Brad, I don't want you to feel bad. I do the same thing with my daughters. It's either Oli or Avalon. Avalon.
One of you offspring, get over here.
30 minutes ago. Jengris posted something. What does he have to say? Since we now know that the dismissal of the complaint against Judge Mata was issued 1/17/25. Hey, that kind of backs up that I was talking to the right guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Over a month ago, it's hilarious seeing David Jingers blatantly lie about Mata here just 2 weeks ago. David, yes, you really should stop talking. Oh, who posted this? This was Seeking Truth, Seeking Justice for all the victims of Laura Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a tweet by you.
Yeah, by Brad.
Right with that, Brad. You could have just told. Well, never mind.
It says IT goatee right there in the link.
Yeah,
it sure does. Snow Wonder says, "Oops, I never sent a super chat, and just sent whatever showed up there." Well, I don't know what to tell you, Snow Wonder. It came in as $2 from you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna use that money to invest in crypto.
And it's gone.
and it's gone. All right.
You got one from P. Mahone too.
Yeah, by the way, I got the inroads on some crypto. If you don't want some insider trading.
Ooh. They're all going to get shut down by the government.
Oh, shit. Sarah Dawn with the 5. Let's go, people. Micro story time. P. Mahone says, I'm late, so I'll contribute. P. Mahone. Is that Pat Mahomo? Pat Mahomo? Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is who I mean.
I will, I'll share a story too if we get the...
Is it a micro story?
It's not a micro story, but it is a funny story I heard through the grapevine.
Well, that's hearsay, Brad. That's not the same thing.
Well,
you had to have lived it.
Oh,
all right. Sarah Dawn. We got to that one already. Okay. I'm going to not unstar these so that I could keep track of the count. There's no wonder. So I think we're 4. We need 6 more. Continuing with this guy, I'm already kind of upset with him. I feel like he's being overly dramatic, but maybe not, because he's not being overly dramatic. I just feel like, I feel a lot of things. I'm just going to keep on reading. Emily was busy with work the rest of the day and night on Valentine's. She had a bunch of ladies who wanted to get specially made up for Valentine's Day. Hey, did you guys do anything special for Valentine's Day?
We did. We went to...
what was your Valentine's Day thing?
We went to a Mexican restaurant that happens to be my wife's favorite in the area. And then we were right across the street from the large outlet mall. And my wife usually around Christmas time wants to go to Coach to get the end of year outlet sales.
Nice.
But we didn't do it this year. So then I took her to Coach, and we had our son with us. And I said, go pick out what you want. And I chased him around the mall waiting for her to finish doing her thing.
Do you know how hot that is? For real. For real. Seriously. When the guy is like, go get something that and it's not super expensive. It's like expensive, but it's not a new car, right? So it's like,
it's not an Audi on Christmas. Or...
this is not Schnitzel projecting.
Go pick. No, I'm just saying, like, you're just like, go pick out what you want. I got the kid.
Yeah.
Like, treat yourself. I want to treat you to something. Like, it's very thoughtful, and to me, in a marriage, that's very sexy.
Yeah, and that means that Brad was in for some special treatment in the coordinator portion of the night.
She said it was the best delivery method, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, great. I don't know, but that sounds great.
I don't want to speculate on that. My mind is not going in appropriate places.
I think they had a nice time.
They had a nice time. They had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and good for them. My Valentine's Day was not the same.
What? Oh, tell.
Oh, no, you tell your story first, and then I'll tell mine.
It's not much. I made dinner. I made I made I made vegan steaks. It's a company called Chunk.
Chunk.
And I know it's not doesn't sound great, but they're actually really, really delicious. So anyway, you can order them online, or there are certain cities that they are in stock, I guess,
Mm.
at some stores. But yeah, you can order them online and have them delivered. And I cooked that, and I made a carrot puree, and I
Mm.
made like it's like a scallop potato tower.
Like mashed potatoes with
Like
scallops.
no, like if you had a mandolin and
Hmm.
did them thinly, but I don't have a mandolin, so I had to do it manually
Oh,
to cut them.
Jesus.
My wife would be very she hates a mandolin because she ended up slicing with a mandolin without a guard and lost a piece of her thumb with it.
It's
Yeah, those are dangerous, man.
dangerous. Yeah. So probably why we don't have one.
I
But
just
then
use
I,
a knife.
yeah, I
Or-
used the knife and just cut
Knife is
thinly,
thing.
and then I put them in like a muffin tin and baked them.
We need to do a cooking show with Schnitzel. How do you
Oh,
make chunky steaks and carrot puree?
I'll wear
with
a Laura Owens mask.
Oh, and your red
or a
sweater.
wig
Yeah, in my red sweater and wig.
with the fake belly. You can't forget the belly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was pretty much it. And then I don't even remember what we did it after I got my son down, and then we probably just watched a show together or something. I don't even remember.
By the way, Rob is in with the 2. That gives us 4 that I haven't unstarred. I think there was one more other than that. I think it was Winks. That makes
Yeah.
5. We're halfway there.
Nice.
All right. For Thanksgiving, for Valentine's Day, we didn't do anything. We did nothing. I came home with a big bag of candy for all of the girls, all of my girls, all of them.
Aw.
Oh,
I spent like $150 in Valentine's Day candy. Here is my gift to all of you. And, I got like the candy boxes for all of the individual girls. And then we celebrated Valentine's Day on the 15th. We went to a really nice restaurant, steakhouse called the Northwoods Inn in Covina, California. And then went to a comedy show after that. And it was a lot of fun.
That sounds like a good night.
Yeah, we had a good time. We dropped the kids off at her mom's house. So that was helpful.
That's nice.
I was like, hey, so y'all don't want to keep them just a little bit longer?
Are you sure?
They love you. They miss you. Like, no, take your fucking kids. Get them out of
Slumber
here.
party at grandparents. That's always the best.
That sounds fun.
All right. So, the good news is, in this zombie shit show that my marriage has become, is that the parking lot meeting and the Valentine's Day gifts were enough that when added to the other evidence, we can finally have Emily served. We're going to have it done privately with the PI. He also has a process server that can get it done quickly. It was probably a mistake accusing her of cheating on New Year's Eve. Emily knows that something's wrong. She's staring at me a lot. I can see it in my peripherals. It would be creepy if it weren't so pitiful. He keeps asking for some kind of reassurance that we're doing good. Since we're not making love anymore. I cannot stand that term, making love. What do y'all think? In 2025, I would say, oh, we were making love. Fuck off with.
I think it's gross.
It's just it makes it sound like so much creepier than just regular having sex. That's my hot take. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
I don't
2025, the term making love.
No, I think my hot take is that making love isn't the act. It's all of the things that you do to lead up to it.
Brad, is your wife standing over your shoulder right now? Is she
She's upstairs. She can't.
What the fuck, dude?
but no, I'm being serious because you're making of the love is all of the things that you do to show that you appreciate and care for the person. And
Totally.
while the sex is great, that it's the making of the love is all of the things that leads up to the sex.
Does it lose any meaning when you just say, "Hey, so the other night I just banged my wife"? Flipped her over.
Yeah, I
think you could say we were intimate.
Intimate is better than making love, though. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
it
That's what I would say instead of making. If I said making love, it'd be like, hey, do you want to go make love?
no.
Some kind
The
of
fuck
like,
with that
do you know
with
what?
that
Like
voice?
I would make fun of it. I guess like I
Yeah.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
actually.
you would say it in jest. You know what I mean? It's something
Or
that people said in like the 70s and 80s that always creeped me out when I was a kid. I have a
make whoopee.
really bad association with that phrase. I don't know. It creeps me out. When I
I
hear the
agree.
phrase making love, it reminds me of people like in their 70s and 80s having sex. Why? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what? It doesn't matter. Whatever Brad said is correct, and I agree that their correct term should probably be we were intimate. We were intimate, and we wrote poems under a tree while we observed a rainbow.
Hey, you awake?
Much listening to a Dolly Parton song. Dolly Parton? Why? I don't know. It was on a playlist that I had somewhere. I was listening to before the
Oh wait,
Jesus.
hey Rob had one other super chat, and then Missy has one.
Oh, number 8. Number of 8. Thanks to all 3. Rob, you're a G, man. We love Rob. Rob is a G. That's a total of $4 from Rob. That's a total of 7 super chats. And Missy with the 10 says, I love you guys and don't need micro stories. Just saying. Missy, I respect that. I really do. And I would not offer a micro story, but for I just promised one. And so, Missy, I will not be offended if you tune out for that portion of the show, assuming that we get 3 more super chats in the next, I don't know, however long it's going to take. Are you guys bored of this story? Are you guys just kind of over this one?
I don't know. The weird thing is like the infidelity part is the story leading up to being caught, but he's
Yeah.
already caught her, and now
He's
we're
probably
getting all of this stuff afterwards, which isn't as fun.
Yeah, it's not as fun. But I'll tell you what, if you know that your wife or husband are cheating and you sit on that knowledge, there's only really one reason that happens is because you think that it's legally beneficial for you. And I would caution you that if you think that that's a thing, you should just check the state that you live in. Because there's majority of the states don't give a shit about adultery. They really don't. In New York, the phrase that they use is you have a paramour. Paramour is an affair partner, somebody that you are going outside the boundaries of your marriage to have sexual relations or to make love or to be intimate. And so if you're not in one of those states, it really doesn't matter. You're not gaining anything by hiring a PI to investigate what's going on. You're just torturing yourself at that point. My advice to you, if you're in California, doesn't fucking matter, dude. You know that she's doing this, confront her about it. You want to get a divorce or not? Because at this point, you should just confront her, have the conversation. I know what you did. And do what you got to do.
See, Michigan is some bullshit state because it is a no-fault car insurance state, and it's a no-fault divorce state. So you can request divorce even if your spouse objects to it, and you only need to show that there's been a breakdown in your marital relationship to the extent that that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there's reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be. There's no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved.
In California, all they ask you is, has there been a breakdown in your marriage such that no amount of counseling or therapy would be able to remedy what's gone wrong in the marriage? Yes, there has. Do you wish to be restored to the status of a single person? Yes, I do. Do you wish to be restored to your maiden name prior to taking his name? Yes, I do. Well, then I'm going to grant the divorce. Is basically how that works in California. Michigan seems like they do something similar. I know in New York, they don't do it that way. And you know, I kind of wish that I practiced family law if I'm going to do family law in a state that it was a at-fault divorce, because these cases would be a lot more entertaining.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. So, anyway, this guy's wrapping it up. I can't get over this betrayal. I wish I could, but I can't. And I never will. It doesn't matter that she didn't love the guy. She had his junk in her Had her mouth
See,
on
this
it.
is unnecessary, man. Like, just it's over. Like, get over
Talk
it.
to him, Brad. Talk to him, Brad.
Like, you don't need to be thinking about all of these things. Like, we get it. You know that she was cheating, but by sitting on it, and why are you typing it out for Reddit? Like, that part of the story of you thinking about him and his junk is just weird. Just stop it.
I mean, you say that, but it's a real thing that happens. It's human psychology to go there.
Right.
And all of us on this panel right now, we're all married. Every single one of us. Schnitzel, Brad, myself. I got to ask you guys the question. If you found out that your partner was cheating, what would be your method of confrontation? Or would you confront them? What would you do? I feel like I know what Schnitzel would say. Schnitzel would say, like, I think we just need to have a conversation.
Schnitzel would be like, why didn't you invite me?
What the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think so. I grew up in a household with a lot of like arguing and yelling, where you kind of had to fight to have your voice heard.
Yeah.
And I took that with me in life for a long time. And I realized at a certain point that I know this is a little off tangent, but I didn't, is that the right term? Off tangent, off topic, a tangent. Anyway, sorry.
But I know
Whatever. You know what I meant. So anyway, yeah, I realized that it was innate in me, but I didn't like the way it made me feel. But it was always like my initial reaction to something. So I spent a lot of time trying to work on that in myself. So for me, I find it more productive if I can stay calm. I was telling you, breathe in the flower, blow out the candle. Take
Yeah.
some of those.
What did I hear that from?
My wife says that all the time.
It's my kids' school.
Oh.
The things with it.
That's the thing. Breathe in the candle, blow out or breathe in the flower, blow out the candle, whatever it is.
Yeah, breathe
Oh,
in through your nose and blow out your mouth. Blow. Anyway, so I just try to like I know that I can accomplish more if I can stay calm and level-headed and not get emotional. But I am an emotional person. I just manage it well most of the time.
That tracks with what you said on this show about how you would handle certain things with your husband. Like if you saw him like wanting to like dance with some other lady, like kind of sit back at the bar and watch him take his shots, I guess. I don't know.
Good luck. Let's see. Yeah, you think you can
See
get
how this
that?
goes. If you can get it, then go do it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Kai with the 14 pure love. Thanks, Kai. Kai is my favorite new member of the Tilted Lawyer family.
Also, that's her in the picture. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, doesn't she look like who am I thinking of?
Ray, she looks like to me.
Not Tyra Banks, but the other one of
Naomi
that same time that she was in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy.
Not Naomi Campbell?
Not Naomi Campbell. I can't think of her name, but she was in Boomerang. She was literally the model.
Halle Berry?
No.
Robin Givens?
Although she was in the movie. Not Robin Givens. She was the model.
Tisha Campbell?
Not Tisha Campbell.
Grace Jones?
Grace Jones.
Okay.
There we go.
I don't know any of those other ones.
Grace Jones. I'm 99% sure that's who it was. But yeah, Kai, thanks for the 14. And that puts us at 2 super chats away from the micro stories.
I could see that.
Which I am loath to divulge, but you guys are gonna make me do it.
Begging and screaming.
You always have a choice, Omar.
Yes, we do. I'm exhibiting a message brought to you by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We always have a choice. Okay, let me finish this one so I can get off of this guy already. So
that's what she said.
That's what she.
Oh my.
All right, so I can't get over this betrayal. Wish I could. It doesn't matter that she didn't love the guy. I just hate myself for going back to her. Further hate myself for treating her badly because of jealousy and resentment. No one deserves being treated like a convicted felon for the rest of their lives by their spouse. Would any reasonable person want to live like that? Would that be enough for anyone? Should I be resigned to a life of policing Emily and keeping her under lock and key until she resents and hates me later on and probably cheats on me again? Yeah. No, you shouldn't. Either that or I'll be an emotionally dead zombie who says, yes, dear, while stamping down my emotions and anxiety every time she walks out the front door. Who will love someone like that? I'm not going to live like that. I love who I thought she was too much to let her live like that. That's why I'm going to ghost Emily when she gets served. The plan is to have her publicly served to start the process of having John's credit card statement subpoenaed. Lawyer says it could take months for this to pan out.
Oof.
Well, I mean, you're subpoenaing bank records. It takes about 90 days. Tell Bev's husband about her complicity in Emily's affair. And to text Emily's dad and sister, John's wife, and some mutual friends with news. I'll pack and leave before she regains her footing after being served divorce papers. I plan on leaving a short note on my lawyer's business card, my wedding ring. My lawyer told me to leave a note so she doesn't have an excuse to start making trouble. I was thinking about writing, do you like rich sugar daddies? Yes or no?
Unnecessary, but
My therapist says I use humor as a coping mechanism.
Self-indulgence. My therapist says I use humor as a coping mechanism. I know I won't do that, though. I'll either write this long manifesto or something super short. Another infidelity poster on here wrote to her cheating SO, significant other. I know. Bye. Brevity is the soul of wit. To which...
But the thing is if you've already served her the papers and she's coming home, why would you do
Then
that?
she knows you know.
I'm going to give you the answer to all of this after I read these next two short paragraphs.
Got it.
I'm going to bring this to a head. That's what she said. That's what he said. I know myself. I know that Emily at least thinks she loves me, whatever that is. I know she'll beg and plead and cry and appeal to me in every possible way. Our history, our families, our plans, everything. She'll dress up and make herself look stunning. She'll pull out all the stops and I'll cave. I'm not ghosting her because I'm strong. I'm ghosting her because I'm weak. I used to think it would hurt worse if she had actually fallen in love with him, but now that would have been easier. If she didn't want me, at least I'd have my answer. Instead, she wants me. But she's already broken us beyond repair, and that's worse. There's a brief update. Emily's going to be served at her salon tomorrow morning. Fridays and Saturdays are busier for her, so she opens earlier. The PI is meeting me at the hotel in the afternoon to show me the body cam footage. He asked if I wanted to see it, and I said, yeah. I don't know why, I just want to see it. I'm kind of on the fence, but leaning towards seeing it. He can't email it or post it, so he's just going to bring his laptop to my hotel room and show it to me. Oh, I got a PSA to announce after this.
Ooh.
Finish this paragraph. I'm staying at an extended stay hotel for a couple of weeks. My dad's friend has a house they're gutting to make an Airbnb out of, and it'll be livable by them, and not yet ready to be rented out. I'll stay there and do some work on it. If the evenings after work and on the weekends, nothing huge. Some drywall, painting, laying down vinyl plank flooring. My social calendar is going to be pretty empty, and it'll get my mind off of things. I'll update tomorrow evening after this shit show explodes, and there's no further update. So here's what I have to say. Yeah. Look, man. Damn it, Rob, with the 2 and the 2. All right, I think we got our 10.
We did.
All right, so we're going to have to at some point do these stories. Here's what I got to say about people that are experiencing infidelity. When I experienced it, the only time I've ever experienced it in my life, I was, so I got married when I was 22. And this is for free. You don't even got a super chat for this one. I got married when I was 22 years old, just a youngster, just a dumbass kid. no business on earth getting married. And I got married for all of the wrong reasons. The reason why I got married was because I was trying to cure the evils of my father for the things that I had seen him do to my mom. My mom had me when she was 16 years old. So I had a rich history of all the things and seeing how my mom was affected by the malfeasance of my father. And so when I decided to get married, it wasn't because I was in love. It wasn't because I had found the one. It was because I wanted to do right by a woman in a way that my dad hadn't done for my mom, which is typical of a lot of young men. And it's a stupid reason to get married, but I did. And so after that, you marry another 22-year-old and they're similarly not ready for marriage. And gosh, I could have been out there sowing my wild oats, man. I could have been out being a single man the way that most 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds do. But I was trying to live a life that I wanted my dad to live. And in the course of doing that, my first wife had my eldest daughter, Raven, who's now 18 years old. And we had a kid. And then after that, maybe about a year, when she was about 1 year old, my first wife at the time, who would have been about 26, I would have been about the same, went out and had an affair. And the way that I handled it was exactly how we would expect a child to handle it. I was heartbroken. I was shattered. I was all of the things. I was not as congenial as this guy was with the PI stuff and everything. I was threatening to go like full on Rambo. I was threatening to like murder people, not her, like the guy. I was like full on tilt. Rather than doing all of those things, I made a lot of threats, and then I retreated into the mountains of Big Bear. And I spent a good 2 or 3 weeks, almost a month, up there by myself. And I recalibrated, and I came down the mountain after considering everything that had gone on and where my life was going at 25 years old. And I decided that, I was still going to try to make it work. And when I came back down the mountain, she was saying stuff like, oh, she wants to find herself and she wants to work on herself and she wants to be separated. And that's when we had the whole conversation about if you want to be separated, then I'm going to be separated. And for me at that time, I was either going to be all the way married or all the way separated. And I went all the way separated. And I went out and I found like this salsa dancer and learned how to salsa dance.
Well, that's how we know that you like the salsa dancing.
Let me
Right.
I went out and I discovered myself. And in the course of discovering myself, I've realized that I did not want to be married to my first wife. And once there was that realization, there's still the reality of having to go through a divorce. It was a very ugly thing to emotionally have to process and go through, but I went through it. And at the end of all of it, I ended up getting divorced right before I started law school at 29. I remember even having conversations about going into law schools. Oh, I'm taking the LSAT. I'm going to go to law school. It's like, oh, well, maybe you should go be an astronaut then. Maybe you should go be a stockbroker. Like the whole, that movie with Will Smith.
Oh, the Hitched?
Not Hitched. The one where he is, where he's a stockbroker and he's like homeless for a while and he ultimately gets the job as a...
Is it The Pursuit of Happiness?
Pursuit of Happiness, yeah. So the relationship that he had with his wife at that time was almost exactly the same relationship that I had with my wife at that time. And she said those things to me. And I was like, well, fucking, we ended up getting separated, divorced, whatever. And I went to law school. I became a lawyer. And then she did whatever she did.
Do you think the refocus of your time is what helped propel you through law school?
Oh, yeah. In that moment of extreme emotional strife, the only thing to do was to dive into my studies and to, retreat into law school and to my case briefs and to my outlines and to become a fucking lawyer. And that's what I did. And the rest is kind of history. And it all worked out in the end. But I went through all of the stages of grief that you go through. You know, the anger and the sadness and the denial and all of the stages. And I went through it as a young man at 25. And I had resolved to myself that if I had ever found myself in another position, number one, I had resolved that I was never going to get married again. That was one. Well, that didn't work out. But I had resolved at least that I was going to get married for the right reasons, not to correct the evils of some person that I had nothing to do with, my dad. But it was going to be because it's what I wanted to do, because that's somebody that I wanted to be with. And so it redirected my reasons for wanting to be committed to anybody. And so when I hear this guy and he's hiring PIs and he's doing this and he's doing that, it's just misdirected energy. But it's something that's necessary. If you've ever been cheated on to that degree, there's a stage of grief that happens. There was a shattering of your soul that occurs. Whether you're going through it as a 25-year-old, as a 35-year-old, as a 45-year-old, you die to yourself in the moment and you become something else. And after your rehabilitation. And whatever this guy is going to go through, I don't know if he's already gone through the stage of shattered or not. It kind of sounds like he has. But these games that he's playing, it's just so important, because his future does not involve his ex-wife, other than there might be support issues. He might have to co-parent. But short of that, his future regarding women involves somebody else that is not his ex. And he needs to start thinking about her as an ex. And until he starts doing that, until he starts accepting the premise that he is a single man and that he's to stand on his own in life and in relationships and go find something that he actually wants, then he's doomed to this rehashing of a relationship that was doomed to failure from the start. And even if it wasn't doomed to failure from the start, it ended up in failure, and that's nothing to dwell on. And life is short. Find a way to move on and proceed. It's not a cold-hearted way to think. It's the reality of his situation. He could dwell on it as long as he wants. And the more that he dwells on it, it's going to impede his future necessarily. Or he could find a way to carry on and henceforth move forward and start a life anew.
Not
What do you all think
to
about that?
not to break your stride there, but we got a very large super chat from Kai.
Oh. Holy shit, Kai, with a $70. Could Justin argue that he was we're doing the Blake Lively thing. Let me put on my lawyer hat for a minute. Could Justin argue that he was deferential to Blake because she inserted a no retaliation clause that included no sarcasm or change behavior? Could he say I was deceitful because I did not want to do anything that would be perceived as retaliatory? I don't think he even needs to go that far. I think he could just say that there was already a lot invested in this film. And the alternative to being deferential to Blake was not realistic because of the amount of money it was going to cost. And it goes to breach of contract. It goes to mitigating damages. It goes to a lot of the cause of actions that they are talking about. And in Baldoni's case, they're talking about a breach of an implied in fact contract. So they're going to state that Baldoni was deferential because financially he didn't have a choice.
He said the budget was $25 million.
Not only that, they needed her to market the film. They were already too far in the production to get somebody else. And whether or not that's true or not, that's going to require expert witnesses. But could he argue that there were reasons why he was so deferential? Yes, he can, because he was basically being coerced into doing it because he didn't have the resources and the corporations didn't have the resources to go and find somebody else. They had to go forward with Blake. So he sucked it up and did what he thought he needed to do to get Blake on board, and that's why he did what he did. But Kai, your thinking is spot on. I just don't think he needs to even go that far, but your instincts are correct. and Rob with another too. Schnitzel, we're gonna have to tell some stories.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Not right now. Look, we're 2 hours in. I got 2 more cases to get through.
I mean, I'm actually pretty good to tell a story.
All right. Do
Probably
y'all want
better
to
now
do
than
like
later.
one more or both of them, or how do y'all want to proceed?
We could
What's
do
your
one.
energy level like?
I'm good.
When I drink, I yawn, which is when sometimes I'm on your streams. You're like, did you yawn at me? It's
Did you just fucking yawn? What the fuck, Schnitzel?
I've been yawning all night, so don't bother me.
Brad does it to me too. I was doing like this whole poem about the pale blue dot, and I was trying to like console people that Trump got elected. And if you voted for Kamala, then Trump is let's try to make it work and all this and pale blue dot. And then Brad is like, ooh, he's like the biggest. Like, what a dick. Fucking asshole. I think I went on Brad's stream, and so I couldn't even say anything about it.
It's okay. You can call me a dick.
Oh, I
We're
know
friends
that.
like that.
Speaking of dicks.
Oh.
Okay.
Are we getting into the story?
Getting so into it.
Do it. Let's do it. Man.
Just like Schnitzel on that micro penis.
So when I was in college, my neighbor was someone I knew, not just from being a neighbor, from college. And he was not my typical type, even though I don't really have a type, but if I did, this would definitely not be it. Just personal preference. Anyway, so I go over to his place. It's around Christmas time. We put Elf on to watch that.
To which was on nonstop in my house on repeat for the entire months of November and December. For the record.
Sorry.
So
I know.
funny.
I got a 4 and a 5-year-old. What are you gonna do?
So I could tell he was interested in things happening.
Banging?
And well, probably whatever I was down for, he would have definitely been down for.
But what were you down for?
I didn't want to be down for anything, to be honest. I'll get a little deeper here. That's what he said. So when I was younger,
That's what you requested.
I would feel like I had to be intimate with guys for them to like me.
How old were you at this time?
Probably 19.
Okay, so you were just a baby.
Yeah, and also I had not had sex yet by that.
Oh,
I hadn't. So anyway, it was just one of those situations where like I knew he wanted to do something, and then I felt like a bitch if I didn't do at least something.
how old was he?
Probably wait.
Was he in his 20s, his 30s?
Responsive.
Probably 25 to 27.
Oh,
Okay, older than
Okay.
you though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I was like, well, okay, I'll give him a hand job. And then like that can be it. Because then he'll get like part of what he's probably hoping will happen. And I don't have to have anything happen to me. And that's great. But this is a little fucked up, but this is how this
Once he's finished, he'll go off and disappear into post-nut clarity. And
Schnitzel,
and
I
I
want to
can
be
just-
your dad in this moment so bad.
No, I know. And I, childhood trauma, I have no idea. I don't know why I was like this. I don't know. I haven't delved
sounds
that.
like a really good conversation for
Yeah.
a therapist.
It does. It does.
I've had a whole conversation about this with my eldest daughter, Raven.
Oh no.
I'm not that way anymore, which is good.
That is a good thing. I would hope not.
I never give my husband anything these days. No, just kidding. Anyway, I keep getting off track. So we get to the point where he's taking his pants off, And okay, so he was probably around 300 pounds,
Oh God.
which
How
is
much did you weigh
how much did I weigh?
at the time?
I mean, probably like 115.
Oh God.
You got a couple 100 pounds on you, basically.
That's
Yes, he's quite
a big
large.
dude.
But that's fine. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, gross or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was what it it was what it was. That's not the reason I like wasn't attracted to him. So I don't want the story to turn dark into that kind of thing. Anyway, okay, so micro penis,
Good Jules.
the jewels. So I guess the reason I mentioned the weight is that I think that
It
that
had an effect.
contributed to what I experienced. I was kind of like, well, where is it? What is
Ooh.
that?
What do you mean? Where was it? Where is it?
Okay, so even though I had not had sex, I had seen penises and touched penises before that. So I knew what they looked like. Anyway, it was just very, very small, and I was like, what am I supposed to touch?
You gotta
And-
lift this roll and this one, and
And I obviously don't want to say anything in the moment, but in my mind, in my like my own monologue, I was like, where is it? Where
you
am
gotta
I
help me
supposed
out
to
here,
grab?
man.
So I don't know if he like moved my hand there or if I did it myself. I honestly don't remember, but it was just an index finger and my thumb. And I was just like, oh, I really hope he comes fast.
My God, did he?
I don't remember how it was not long. It wasn't like
Blocked
5
it out of your
seconds, but it wasn't probably wasn't more than like 2 minutes. And but it went very far, which I was very shocked. I was like, how did that happen?
How?
How? And so yeah, that's my micropenis story. Any questions?
Oh my.
Yeah. The fuck? So what happened afterwards? Was it good for you?
No, I was just like, oh, I mean, I
Or
don't
was he
even
like,
remember.
okay, it's your turn.
No, I don't remember specifically. Like I didn't say like I don't want you to do anything to me, but I think my body language was pretty clear and like he didn't do anything.
You're just gonna stay over there, and then
But literally I leave and I go kitty corner, not kitty corner. What is it?
next door.
Perpendicular. Yeah, but it was like a corner. What's that? Diagonal?
Yeah.
So they're not conjoining apartments, but you know what I mean? They're like right next to each other. So yeah, I was just like, all right, bye, I'm going home. And then I just go like it's right next door into my apartment.
So he literally lives next door to you.
Yes.
Like
but
your neighbor. Like you knock on the wall and it's his wall.
If he heard me, he could hear me in the apartment. Anything.
Why's it gotta be like that, Brad?
Flushing the toilet, he could hear anything. So yeah, that was it, and like nothing else ever happened. Nothing else was ever like nothing was attempted to be pursued. It was just kind of that. Maybe he felt awkward too. I don't know. I never asked him about it.
Were you guys friends after that?
We were
Cordial neighbors.
Yeah, we were cordial. We like at school, without going into too much detail as I try to keep that stuff away from Laura. What I'll say is like we were in one class together. I can say it that way.
Okay.
So we would see each other every once in a while. And yeah, it was always cordial, but in my mind, I'm like, oh my God. And then thinking like I can never see Elf, a poster for Elf, a meme about Elf, anything without remembering.
Did he try for a round 2?
No,
She
nothing.
ran. Did you miss that part?
There was no cuddling afterwards.
But I mean, like after that day, like does he try to like, hey, so
No.
let's do the
Did you wanna?
to the
No, there was nothing, which is why I say like maybe he even felt like uncomfortable or awkward about it too. But yeah, nothing from either side.
God,
oh boy.
Yep. Oh, and I remember too. So he was a white guy, and before things happened, he told me that he had ridges. Oh, he said he had ridges on his scalp. That he had like
Scalp?
yes, he said that he had like African American um uh
What?
in his, what am I trying to say, in his like family history, in his genes. And he said like, here, like feel the ridges on my scalp, and this is how, like, like this is a thing that only they have, I guess. And so he had me feel his scalp too. It's just like another really weird part of this whole story.
Was it greasy?
I don't
Ugh.
remember. I mean, isn't everybody's scalp greasy to some extent?
No, I mean,
Unless you've just showered. I don't know.
I mean,
Heritage. Hey Rob,
he's-
thank you. Heritage.
it's not like Italian where you could have the U.S. invade to try and get the oil, but
Schnitzel should change her photos from Elf.
we're not trying to re-traumatize her.
Oh man, what
So he didn't try to follow up that with like a round two, or like a let's go on a date, or let's go grab drinks or something.
No, and I will say I was also in an on again, off again, very dysfunctional, like abusive relationship with a guy at the time. So this was kind of like on the 2 weeks off period of that thing. And so I think everyone at school was aware of this situation because of certain things that happened between the two of us, like on campus.
Oh boy.
Where he like followed me into a classroom, was like yelling at me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I
It's
think
super weird after that?
with
Like scary weird? Like threatening weird?
oh, he would pin me down to the floor and wouldn't let me leave the room a lot of the time. He closed my arm in a door one time.
Wow.
We were in Italy together. I know it's hard without context, but I can't really go into the context of why we were there. But we were,
Student exchange program?
yeah, but we were participating in some kind of program together.
Got it.
And yeah, we had broken up, but I didn't have enough money to get a different like living arrangement. And so we had to share a bed. That was the arrangement for this place. And one night we just got in this big fight. He was pinning me to the floor. I was trying to put myself in the bathroom, but the door wouldn't lock. We had these other two girls staying with us. They left to go stay at the hostel because like I was like, take me with you, please. Like, I don't want to be here.
God.
There was a balcony, and I remember him hanging himself off the balcony saying he was going to jump. And in my mind, I was like, please just fucking jump. Like, I want to
hanging
be
himself
over.
like he was like holding on by his hands.
Yes, and his hands and feet on the outside
How
saying,
high up were you?
2 floors, I think.
So about 30 feet.
I don't. Yeah, I
20.
mean, it was high enough where it would have definitely done like some damage.
Might have broken an ankle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is the guy I had been dating, and it was on and off. As you can tell, it was not a super healthy relationship. So I think this guy, micropenis guy, was aware of that situation too. And also, yeah, it just between him and me, it was very awkward. Like, I don't, if a girl was like, yeah, I don't want you to do anything to me, but I can do this to you.
Jules says she thinks that he was clearly embarrassed. Do you think he was embarrassed?
He could have been, but I was very, I think I handled the situation very well, and I did not show any of my true feelings.
I mean,
Well-
but did you have to though? I mean, like, could you have involuntarily showed your feelings?
Possibly,
Like,
but maybe me not wanting him to touch me was me showing my feelings.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
anyway,
we know
yeah.
that she had a good hand in it because she,
I had
you
a
know,
hand in it. I had 2 fingers in it.
Two
And a forearm.
thumb and a forefinger. And, all right. Brace yourself. When he shot off, was it like a lot, or was it like a dribble?
No, it was a lot. I
Ew.
don't want to think about it. It was a lot and far. It went across the glass coffee table. Like on the other side of the glass coffee table.
Wait. Yikes.
I'm just dying thinking like if
Oh.
he ever heard this and like knew I was talking about him.
Well,
Oh,
with
what if you
that
found
guy,
out that micro penis guy was Hey Rob, and he's like, I'm kidding, Rob. I know that you're not the guy. But what if that was like the wrinkle in this whole story?
that would be funny.
Well, hey, I don't know what Hey Rob looks like, so
I don't know either, but he's been with
maybe
me
his
for a
name's not
while.
really Rob.
I mean,
Because this guy's name was not Rob.
I feel like I've known Rob since at least May or June. I want to
Mhm.
say that Rob came on board around Laura Owens. Must have been around May.
Mhm.
Must have
Nice.
been around then.
I had Rob on my walking stream.
Yeah, I used to go on your walking stream. How come we don't do them no more, man?
It's freaking cold. I don't live in California. It is 21 degrees
How
outside.
come you don't do your cooking shows anymore?
Because I'm lazy and feel like a piece of shit. But
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I don't
Rob
want.
said, Hi, Schnitzel, remember me.
Hey, Schnitzel. So I did one around two, and I was giving hints.
oh no.
I'm surprised you didn't pick up on my hints. I gave you Skittles. What the fuck?
Skittles, I gave you Elf. I gave you an elf memory for life.
You think that was for my health?
It was for my elf.
Snow Wonder says, Chia, they are sharing a micro penis story. No more. We're talking about a micro vag story. Oh, gosh. I got to prep myself for this one. I feel like I need another shot, but I'm already like 0.20.
I don't have a micro story, but I have a scarred for life story.
Oh, let's hear your story. This will be a bonus, and then
Yeah.
I'll give my micro vag story. I guess I have to.
I don't know why, but there are things that you see in life that embed themselves in your brain and you cannot get them out.
Understood.
I don't know why this is. My mother was watching some Lifetime program. Don't know what it was. Don't know what the context was. But this woman gets raped and impregnated in this thing. And all I can see is this cinematic shot of her sobbing as this is going on to her.
Your mom?
Not my mom. The lady on the show.
All right.
And I don't know why, but that just is embedded in my mind. And if I don't think about it, like the past 90 seconds was the first time I've thought about it in probably years. But I don't know why. But it's like one of those things where you wonder, how is that even allowed to be on TV? Like it's obviously
PBS?
a stage
Lifetime.
act and it's not actually done, but
it's depicted as
it's depicted and was just
memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. With great trepidation. And I should not be telling this story. I should not. This is an error. This is such an error. All right. So I was dating this girl in college. And the reason why I think she had a micro vag is because all right, she was a cool chick and all. And like we were dating for I don't know how long, maybe a week or two. I had her in a class. I don't remember what class it would have been. What would it have been? Shit, I don't know. But we were in a class together. We had a class together. And then we went to a club and we had a good time. It was fun. And like our whole group of friends, everyone was having fun. Of course, there was alcohol involved. At that time, I would have been drinking Goldschlager.
Ooh.
Goldschlager. And so imagine a time when I was like 21. No, this would have had to been like 20. Well, it would have been around that time. Around the time when I was about to move to Ohio, but hadn't fully moved to Ohio to go to Ohio State to attend, Buckeye Town, Columbus, Ohio, when I stayed over there. I know. Brad loves that. He's a Michigan guy all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about the Ohio State Michigan thing until I went there, by the way. But anyway, This was before that. At the time, I was working as an intern at a magazine based in Ohio. Leave. But I've driven through Michigan, Brad. It's not that much better. They could be like the same states, honestly. Yes.
The lakes are infinitely better here than in Ohio.
I don't know. It's just a lake. It's not the ocean.
It looks like the ocean. That's the thing.
It looks like the ocean.
That's what micro penis guy said to
The penis.
It's the motion of the lake.
This is as big as it gets. This is normal. This is average. I'm totally average.
I'm a shower, not a grower.
Maybe I'm just not that attracted to you. Maybe you're just not doing it right. That's why I'm limited to this. How big was he, Schnitz?
Oh God.
His penis?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I could get around was it was my index finger and my thumb, and it was a very small jerking motion. Like literally make the smallest you can, like by just tensing your muscles and making them like shiver, and that was it.
Obviously, we're not going to get to these last couple of cases. And it's fine. I'm just going to, you know what? We're not getting to these last two cases. We're going to end with this story. It's been two and a half
the reason hours. You thought she had a microvag was...
Oh, yeah. So we're dating. We're having a good time. I was in my hip-hop days where I was working as an intern for the Spotlight. And my job was literally to go to clubs in LA. And these clubs were like 21 and over. I'm under 21. I'm like 19, 20 years old. I'm like on the sets of music videos. I'm going to Kiss FM 102.7 to interview like Big Les and Mary J. Blige and I was living the dream, man. I don't know why I didn't stick with it, but I didn't. I became an attorney instead. So good life choices on me. But I was living in that realm and I was dating this girl and we had gone to a club called the Palace. It was in Hollywood. And afterwards we went back. I don't know if it was her place. It was a place. But we're going to have relations. And then when I tried to insert myself into the nether regions, it just wasn't going all the way in. It wasn't going all the way in. And then like when I would try to insert it further, like past a certain point, it was like, it was hurting too much. Like it was this screeching pain. Now I've heard of conditions like this. It was like, there's a condition where it's like painful to have sex. She told me she didn't have that condition. She just said, you know what? I want to preface it by saying I am not exceptionally, how do I frame this?
Endowed.
It's not like you have a 10-inch schlong.
I don't have an exceptionally large, like weird ass penis. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing about my penis that would be like exceptionally painful for anybody, which is why it's leading me to this conclusion. She must have had a microvag because she would have been the only one to have ever had this reaction. You know what I mean? Like where it is so painful, you cannot insert it all the way. And you know what? We're just going to have to stop because it's you're just too big. Like, what do you mean I'm too big? I'm not saying it for that part. This is why I didn't want to tell the story. I'm just saying we were like in the middle of it. We're like minutes into it. And then at some point it was like, you know what? It hurts too much, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like literally like bumping up against stuff. Like it wouldn't go further in. In retrospect, it's very possible that she might have been like one of these like gender people that have an X and a Y chromosome or an XXY or an XYY. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to develop as a penis, but maybe it just didn't fully. It turned into a vagina, but it was like in between, and so it didn't gain depth. You know what I mean?
You're overthinking.
Did you see it?
I see it. I definitely saw it. I 100% saw it.
But it looked
like a regular vag. It felt like a regular vag. But she was explaining pain.
Oh, she was. Okay.
Yeah, she was saying, this isn't going to work. It's too big. I was like, and I cannot emphasize enough. I do not have like a 12-inch dong. I don't.
Don't be so modest, Omar. Come on.
I'm not telling the story. Y'all wanted to hear a micro vag story. No other woman has ever said this to me. I'm just saying. it's too much. I don't know. You know what? But this isn't going to work out. It was not. It's not that kind of story. I'm just saying. She literally said it was like it went okay for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then it was like, yeah, this is fuck this. I can't.
And she wasn't a virgin.
No, she was like an older woman. She was like I was 19 or 20 at the time. She would have been like 30.
And no kids.
Late 20s, early 30s, maybe. As far as I know, no kids. I mean, I never talked to her after that.
I mean, I wouldn't either, but
There's nothing to talk about. It's like, it's obviously ain't going to work out. So it's like,
Yeah, I wonder if it's that lady who lifts like all those weights with her vag.
oof.
it might have been. It might have been.
It might have been her.
I will say it was exceptionally. I don't want to be gross. I don't want to be gross.
Yeah.
We get it.
It was like vice grip though. You know what I mean? It was abnormally so. And so I feel like if micro penis is a thing, I feel like micro vag has to be a thing. Has to be. And then she said that, you know what, because she very clearly had other experiences and was commenting is that, you know what, it's just that it hurts too much to be pleasurable. And again, I don't have like an exception.
Did you do anything else for her?
I did all of the things. I did all of the things that you would think that you're supposed to do.
I don't know. Omar, what are the list of things that you think should be done?
Like, you're not supposed to just jam it in there. There was, you know, the foreplay and the whole. Oh, my wife is
on
going
that thing.
She was not really a guy. She was not a tranny. She was not any of those things. It might have been. Look, it was the only experience where if micro vag is a thing, it would have been her. Is all I'm saying. That's my story. After that night, you know, we were cool. We were friends and everything. We're still, we were friends afterwards. We didn't try to like date after that. She was cool with me. I was cool with her. Like, I saw her at various events. But that was the end of it. And I was in college. And so, you know, and after that, like shortly thereafter, I had fucked off to Ohio to become a Buckeye. To Brad's pleasure. And so.
Oh, your brother's here.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Chris? Omar Sr. gave the list of all the things. Too many.
Of course, Lauren isn't here so that we can tell her about the wonderful genetics that your dad has.
I invited Lauren. She's with her family right now, I think. But
Wait, what are the wonderful genetics? Tell me.
Well, if Omar has a 12-inch dong, then obviously he had to get it from somewhere.
True. Maybe
I
he
do not
got
have
it
a
from his
12-inch dong. I can confirm.
I wonder which side you inherit.
She's talking. Look at my brother, man. Look at him on picture. Like, he's a gorgeous man.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, he's got good genes. I got good genes. I got it from my mama.
Just not down there, apparently.
That much. Well,
I saw a funny Twitter post. It's like, if guys like lingerie, what is the opposite for women? And the number one thing is a guy in a well-put suit.
why is that the thing? A guy in a, I gotta say, I hate wearing suits. I hate it. As soon as I'm done with court, I'll come back to my office. I will immediately change
I believe it.
into jeans and a t-shirt. I cannot stand wearing a suit. I don't like it. I feel like I'm getting choked. I don't like wearing a tie. I don't like it's too much clothes. It's too much clothes. I don't know. Somebody's asking me to hold up my hand. I will not. Here, Roscoe.
Yeah, what's that behind you, by the way, over your right shoulder?
Brad, what are we even looking at?
On Omar.
The scale.
What's behind you? What's behind you?
You've got like a tree thing.
It's my moisturizer. It's my
Oh,
essentially enriched.
oh.
I moisturized before I came on the show.
I clocked
That's an
that like
essay
2 hours
complaint waiting to happen right there.
I feel like I'm getting essayed right now.
ago.
Oh my gosh, man. What a show. By the way, I was babysitting for my brother's dog the other day, or this past week, while he was fucking off in Mexico. And that little asshole dog chewed through like 3 of my blankets.
Oh,
My little girl's blankets and my like main comforter.
Oh no.
Lucky I didn't throw that little shit out like over the wall.
Over the wall to Mexico.
To
You got-
the freeway.
You got free dog sitting services, but you got to pay damages.
Oh, and then he said he's gonna tell he here's what he did. He came over for Super Bowl. I just invited him because I invited everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah. And then he was there for Super Bowl. My brother doesn't watch football. It's like, oh, I'm just here for Travis Kelce. My brother's gay, in case you didn't know.
The dude barely played like three plays the
No,
entire
but he went
game.
to the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce storyline because he's a gay, you know?
Well, what did he think when she got booed?
Oh, I don't think he gave a shit. He was like, he was chatting up my daughter and telling her, I will give you $150 if you babysit my dog. My daughter never did shit about that dog. And I don't know if he gave her money, but he shouldn't because she didn't do shit.
Christopher, did you give her money? She'll use it towards a new blanket.
Oh, yeah. She did not watch the dog. I hope he didn't pay her because is he was doing her own thing.
Dang.
You said 150. Yes, paid. LOL. Get it. The comment.
You got your
I paid 50. She said 150. Yes, good for you, Chris.
your
Yes,
daughter doing the upcharge.
Oh, well, at least she knows how to do that. You know what I mean?
And use her dad at such a young age.
She definitely does not want to be a lawyer, and I don't blame her. You don't want this life. This life sucks. It's bad for your soul. Go do something. Go find another way to make money. You'll be happy.
My son is 0% interested in what I do. Like 0.
Oh, well, I'd ask you what you do, but I don't want to be. I understand your children not wanting to do what you want to do, but in my case, I don't want my daughter to do anything that I do because it's a hard life, man. It's not a hard life. Like the money's good and all.
The soul-sucking profession.
Imagine having to deal with everybody's worst moments in their lives all day, every day of the year, for years. It just takes a toll. It takes a toll. And so if she could make money any other way, do that. I told her to start like a TikTok shop. Start a YouTube channel. Start like anything. I don't know. Do something. You don't have to make, when I was her age, I was working like $7 and I was making $7 an hour as a security guard, working the graveyard shifts, going to school like time and a half, 18 units.
I can't believe you were making that because I remember making $6.30 like flipping burgers.
I made $6.15 an hour as a janitor.
Well, it was California minimum wage, so
Yeah.
I don't know where y'all live, but
Well, it was Michigan in 2004.
In 2004. Yeah, in California in 1999. I don't know what minimum wage was. I just know I was making $7 an hour. I think minimum wage would have been like $4 an hour, $5 an hour, something like that. Nowadays, it's like 15 an hour. Jesus.
20 or some places are 20 going up to even higher.
In California, if you work at a restaurant or fast food, it's 25.
And then that's not even enough for like someone to live. If
You
they
can't
want-
do shit with that.
Exactly. It's crazy.
You can't. But they think that it is. But and then inflation happens, and then it's like,
Mhm.
Anyway, folks, I'm like totally embarrassed by my story. I'm like,
You only told the internet about your foot-long dong, so
no, it wasn't my dong. It was her micro badge. It wasn't me.
It makes me think of the subway.
wear it like a badge of honor, Omar. Come on.
5 foot long.
Wayne says, Jesus Christ. We're just gonna pretend the show didn't happen.
just delete it from your channel.
It's gonna be your most watched one, and then you're gonna have to be like, "God damn it!"
I got
there was one lively Baldoni question, so like it's gonna trigger that. No,
It was Kai's $70 super chat that forced my story. Anyway, folks, it's like a 6:47 in my time zone. I know that you folks are Eastern time, but I got to wrap this up. I got to get home. I'm gonna be in trouble when I get home. I already know. I could feel it.
we're sorry.
I can only imagine your wife like, "Are you done at the office? Like, come on."
No. Oh, who knows what conversations are about to ensue.
Now, okay, question. Did she know about that story?
I've never told her about that one.
Okay.
I haven't told her about the majority of my stories, to be honest.
It generally doesn't come up in casual conversation.
Not
Hey,
at
honey, let
all.
me tell you about that one time I banged this one girl.
See, like I do like to know that stuff. And it's not because I want to be like nosy and know it, but if there's like a funny situation that happened or like an embarrassing situation, I feel like my personality, I can like experience that like vicariously through the story. And it's
Yeah.
something that my partner remembers and it's like a part of their life. And I like being able to
Understanding the full scope of them and not just the few
Yeah.
things that you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some things I tend to keep to myself, but I'm sure I'm going to be asked about it later. So, we'll see.
Are you still friends with this person on social media?
Oh no, I haven't spoken to her in like 20 plus years, man. I have no idea where she's at or what she's doing.
Good. I bet that was going to be a question.
No, whether or not she's even. It's been since the 90s, early 2000s.
She might not even be alive anymore. Who knows?
She might not, for all I know. I have no idea. No idea. We'll see. But anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. I love you all. Schnitzel, thank you so much for coming on. Brad, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you looking healthy.
Yeah.
I hope to see you more often. Hey, you got to get your channel back up and running. We got to get you to, I don't know, 10,000 subscribers or whatever.
Damn, I'm at 2.3 and I've been at 2.3 for like 4 months.
2.3 thousand?
Yeah.
We gotta multiply that shit.
Uh-uh.
I feel like you and Bruce are like racing to 10,000.
Oh god.
And Lauren too, but now she's gonna win because
Bruce is well ahead of me.
Well,
he's got the pre-watch parties for Bachelor and
well, that'll do it, man. That's one way to get your subscribers up.
That's good.
I just got the only thing I got coming up is SpaceX is going to launch on the 26th, so I got another space launch coming up.
Oh, that'll be a good one. Hey, Schnitzel, are you mad at Elon Musk? I already know the answer.
I don't have words yet to describe how I feel.
Oh, I know.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to make you tell your feelings on stream.
I'm very liberal.
You got my digits. Call me. We'll talk about that sometime.
I don't need
You could do an Elon debate. You
at
and me,
all.
Brad. You have to explain Elon Musk to me and how his son is like telling Donald Schnitzel, "Hey, my dad's the president. You're a bitch."
He's like, shut the fuck up. You're not the real president. And
You're
yeah,
a 12-year-old.
he obviously heard those things being said by someone who is, I think, his father. And yeah, he probably feels like he can't be president, but he paid his way up to the position that he's in right now, and he's using Donald Trump. Donald Trump is using him. Exactly. I could go on and on, guys. I won't get started.
I know, but we'll get started on a different stream for sure. We should. It'll be fun. And when we do, we should have Brad on because Brad is like me and Brad were going back and forth during the whole election, and Brad's side won out. And so I had to go in there with tail between my legs and concede.
Unfortunately, the whole country is conceding and dying.
Did you see that Kamala Harris is now like a 2% favorite to win governor of California?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A lot of people are uneducated in this country and they believe whatever bullshit people feed them.
Yes, they do.
Well, I wasn't asked about the poll. Omar,
you're not in California.
Were you asked about the poll, Omar?
What poll? Oh, I wasn't asked. No, I was not asked.
They asked 900 people and then extrapolate that out to think that that's exactly what everyone in the country is going to come out and say.
I don't trust any of that. I don't trust anyone who's behind any of that shit anymore. I don't trust anything. I don't trust anyone.
I trust nothing. I trust nothing and no one when it comes to politics. I just don't, man. I'm so checked out. I'm checked out, man. I don't know what to do. Danny Stream says only Omar would say he has to go and then bring up Elon Musk. That's only because I miss Brad, man. Me and Brad, we used to do live streams about politics all the time. We got to start that up again somehow.
Well, I
feel like I'm gonna make people angry, so maybe I shouldn't.
Dave Neal is certainly ruffling some feathers with his political streams, but
he's not shy about his liberalism. And I'm not
But,
even a liberal. I don't. I feel like I'm an independent. I'm in the middle, but I didn't vote for Trump, and so
you had mentioned we were going to
I
do
would
a
rather have all of my skin burn slowly off of my body than vote for Donald Trump.
well,
well.
I
That's a
understand.
choice.
All I'm going to say is I understand. I understand. All right, folks, I got to go, man. I'm already in so much trouble when I get home. I'll let you know how this goes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I love you all. I will see you all on Monday.
Yeah.
Be safe out there. Bye-bye.